And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roger, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Orange 25! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If the methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep red. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to another NSF live stream. Today, a little bit something special. We are looking at an Atlas at Slick 41 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and it's going to be launching 27 Kuiper satellites for Project Kuiper, a subsidiary of Amazon. Welcome, we are NSF, we're NASASpaceflight.com. We point cameras at rockets whenever we can. I'm Jack Beyer, I'll be your host for today's show, and as always, I'll be joined by our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts, starting off with the German, the one and only, Adrian. Adrian, how you doing?
I'm actually not the one and only German. There's
You're the
about
one and only German.
81 more million. But hey, hi! I'm apparently I'm back on a live stream here. That's cool. It has been a while, but I'm looking forward to see an Atlas 5 fly, or at least 20% chance of it flying. Spoiler. But
No spoilers, no spoilers. We have several things to talk about on this stream. Also, by the way, I see no questions in the question queue. If you have any questions, at NASA Spaceflight in chat, and we'll see your questions pop up. Now's a good time to ask, because there's nothing in there. Also
Absolutely.
joining us on commentary in the field, out there, in person, Sawyer. Sawyer, how you doing, bud?
I'm honored to be called a person. No, I'm doing great out here. It is very windy, so my comms may be a little breezy, so to speak. I'll do the best I can, but it is great to be here and great to see something other than a falcon fly.
Indeed, we like variety here. Do I like filet mignon? Yes. Do I want to eat filet mignon every day as the only thing for the rest of my life? No. So variety good.
that was a good anecdote.
Yeah, why not? But we will
Yep.
be talking about that wind. Adrian, we should probably get into that pretty soon right off the bat. But also I do want to thank Jay, who is operating today's stream. So thank you, Jay, for that. We also have Max and Julia and Dee all out in the field as well. They're not going to be on comms, but they are going to be out in the field capturing some awesome imagery of today's launch for us. Also, Kevin Michael Reed is around as well, I guess. That's cool, or whatever. Let's talk about the launch. You can see everybody's info popping up there in the top right. Adrian, 20%? What's the situation with the weather and that wind?
Let me quickly give you the introduction here. So in theory, we are 55 minutes away from the launch of Project Kuiper KA-01 with 27 Kuiper satellites here. However, the latest weather update from ULA has mentioned broken low clouds, isolated showers in the area, northerly winds of 20 to 28 knots, and a temperature near 64 degrees. And there's an overall 80% chance of a weather rule violation for the launch window tonight. That includes both cloud rules as also as wind rules. So yeah, we will see how the next 54 minutes or so develop. Friendly reminder, they have a 2-hour window. The window opens right now at the time that you see in the top of the hour of your screens. However, it spans 2 hours. But yeah, it looks like they might have to find a gap somewhere in there to actually launch.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen SpaceX thread the weather needle. It happens. There's a chance, and the 2-hour window certainly helps. It's not like it's an ISS launch where it's instantaneous or what have you. But really, really quickly, I'm sorry. I have to do this. Adrian, you said the name of the mission. Can you say the name of the mission again?
Project Kuiper KA-01.
Oh man, the way you said it when you rattled it off, it sounded like, when you're on Amazon and you're buying something and it's like has a ridiculously long name, like microphone stand number 1. I can't even
It's
ad
like
lib something.
It's the Project Kuiper KA-01 satellite constellation low Earth orbit internet access panel.
In parentheses 27, because there's
Yeah.
27 on board.
27.
All right. Anyways, bad jokes over. Sawyer, how are you feeling out there given this weather situation? What is the press vibe? Give us a situation report.
The general consensus was, as a lot of us were making it over here, near the main highway here, Interstate 95, it was gorgeous. It was clear. It was nice, a little breezy. And then as we got closer to the Cape, the clouds were rolling in and the breeze was picking up. It is definitely on the windier side. And there is a general feeling of, I guess, uneasiness is the word about actually hitting the T-zeros today. But I mean, the fact that at this very moment there are now blue skies is better than it was 30 minutes ago. So fingers crossed that the winds now hold up as well.
And
Fingers crossed indeed. Go ahead, Adrian.
And just to mention, because this is, I always try to mention things that are different than Falcon 9, because we usually do a lot of Falcon 9, so it's always good to mention that. Atlas V can very much hold throughout the 2-hour window. That's very much in the capabilities of how an Atlas works. So this is already, the rocket is already mostly in top off. They are basically fuel topping off the rocket at this point. So Atlas can just hold, and there is a potential here that we could do what I want to refer here as weather hopping, where they will go from one potential T0, they will then go for another one in 15 minutes, they will go for another one in 15 minutes. I'm just saying, this
I
could
hate that
be
you're
our
probably going to
reality.
be right.
I mean, this is a reality, right? So yeah, like, this is a capability of Atlas. They could always go to like 15 minutes right before the go no go poll, and then move it 15 minutes down the line.
Right. I mean, it's worth noting that, they also use RP-1 for parts of the first stage, Rocket Propellant 1, just like SpaceX, except their RP-1 was loaded yesterday on the rocket when it made it out to the pad. So a little different in that the propellants can sit in this. As we pointed out, the upper stage already has the liquid oxygen. Next up is the liquid hydrogen. The liquid oxygen on the first stage is getting towards that topping off point. So it's already starting to load up with fuels. It can sit there and chill. As we chill in the chill out here, the rocket can chill.
Wow.
That was
job,
a lot of
Slayer.
chills.
I do love.
Yeah, I'm a chill guy.
You are a chill guy. I do love at this point in any rocket countdown where the vehicle is like getting loaded with all of these tons of propellant and coming alive and starting to vent and starting to breathe. It is sort of one of those more cinematic moments. Like, I always wish I could be at the pad. Obviously, can't be because that would be very dangerous. But I wish I could be at the pad and like hear the valves open and hear the pumps whine as they start up, or like all that cool stuff that we get to see here in Starbase, because everything is right next to the road.
I sometimes dislike when people describe rockets as a machine, because I'm like, it's more an orchestra of machines, right? Like, it's not one machine. It's so many different functions and machines that come alive together and work together, and when they work well, bring something to low orbit and beyond.
Yeah, that's a good point. That makes me think, I always remember hearing people talk about Falcon Heavy being particularly difficult, or for that matter, Delta Heavy, because it's not as trivial as just strapping additional cores on. Like, it's 3 rockets essentially flying in formation, which is just a crazy way to think about it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's start answering some questions. How about, really quick, I do want to thank Starship Watcher Vader, EJ. Thank you for becoming a PadRat member, and Eric Milo for becoming a PadRat member as well. Check out the membership program if you don't know about it. It is awesome and it helps us out a lot. All right, question time.
Yes.
Here's one, Sawyer. I'm just going to throw this at you because you are a wealth of knowledge about all things spaceflight. Creative Bites is asking. That's really you're gonna okay. I would hope that your response would be like, "Oh boy, am I that terrifying?" I'm sorry.
Oh boy, gee willikers, what do you got?
Can you tell me some facts about the Atlas V rocket? Creative Bites TB wants some Atlas facts. Hashtag Atlas facts.
Ooh, that's a really good question. I mean, the Atlas heritage goes all the way back. The early Atlas days was carrying people into space, and of course, Atlas V now has also carried 2 people into space aboard the Starliner CFT mission. Before United Launch Alliance was a United Launch Alliance, of course, it was originally launched by Lockheed Martin and has been continued to be upgraded over the course of its life. I mean, I'm trying to think. It's launched some amazing science missions. A bunch of Mars rovers have launched aboard it. What else is super cool that I could think of?
There's a whole
with
bunch
the
of different configurations, which is something that ULA has kind of followed on with their Vulcan rocket as well. It's almost like a
Yep.
build-a-rocket. Like you can configure Atlas to do a variety of things. You see the payload there. It's the 5-meter payload fairing. They also have a 4-meter payload fairing if you don't need all of that volume. Yeah, true. That one is gone.
They're no longer flying the 4-meter fairing ones, but yeah, they had the 4 and the 5-meter fairings. There was actually a website where it's like you could configure your own launch vehicle on ULA's website. And yes, it can have anywhere from 0 to 5 solid rocket boosters on it, of which this one is 5. And as a result, it has a nickname of the Bruiser. How's that for fun facts?
Some good fun facts. It makes me miss the Delta II because it could have 9 solids. Something about asymmetrical solids. Like I mean, it's Kerbal and it's cool. I don't know. It's just always kind of. Adrian, asymmetrical solids, yes or no?
Can we? Yeah, so this will be something that I have to bring up because I know it will annoy as much people as I. So I love symmetry, and it annoys me a lot that none of the SRB configuration of Atlas are symmetrical. Like, I know some people like it. I don't.
I mean, it works. The important part is that it works.
The 2 ones are even.
No, that's true. They're okay. The worst one, I think, the worst offender in the Atlas family is 541. 541 just makes me angry. It has like it has 2 SRBs and then like 2 slightly offset to the right SRBs.
Jay, I don't know if you're able, or Kevin, or if you're able to show that on screen, but it's like
it makes me like I really struggle with this. I like symmetry.
Yeah, so
I mean, Osiris Rex was one of the weirdest launches I've ever seen. That was a 401, so it had 1 solid rocket motor on it, and you can actually see the smoke plume after it, so crooked as it's trying to straighten itself out. It's like it's doing a power slide, except it's designed to, unlike certain rockets. It was amazing.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about Atlas configurations because we're jumping right into it. You can see the many moods of the mighty Atlas V. Somebody at ULA had a fun time making this one. But if you look at the bottom, underneath each image of the rocket, you can sort of see a bottom-up view. So you can see how the solids are configured. So there's the 411. It's just got 1 solid on the side. The 401 has no solid. And then you just take a look. So Adrian, we said the 541 is the one that makes...
541 is the worst because you can see 2 of the 4 SRBs are slightly offset.
I don't know. 421 kind of bothers me. Or the 521.
Yeah, 421 is bad. 541 is bad. 521 is absolutely annoying. Honestly, the Starliner configuration is bad.
All right, okay. Tell us how you really feel, Adrian.
Tell us what else you do like.
So I like 501. I like 401.
531 slaps.
I think 551 is okay.
All right.
This rocket, in case anyone's wondering, is a 551, the 5-meter fairing, the 5 solid rocket boosters, and the 1 Centaur upper stage.
It's got 3 solids on one side, 2 on the other. It's yeah. And when just to be clear, Adrian, when you're saying they're bad, you just mean aesthetically you don't find them pleasing. These are all very capable rockets. I don't feel like I really need to say this, but I'm going to say it just in case we have any first-time viewers.
Yeah,
we like all rockets here, but some are more aesthetically pleasing than others. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
I apologize to everybody at ULA. I don't dislike your rocket. I just have a thing for symmetry. I'm very sorry.
We all have preferred configurations of every different rocket that's configurable like this. Anyways, good question, Creative Bytes TV. Your Atlas facts question really let us explore Atlas a little bit there. Do we want to talk about, before we move away from this graphic, the numbering, Sawyer?
Yeah, sure. So as we mentioned, this is a 551. So that is the 5-meter fairing. As you pointed out, the 4-meter fairing they used to have, but as they get ready to retire this vehicle, there are no more scheduled launches with those. You have the 5 solid rocket boosters, the GEMS on the bottom there. And then the 1 is the Centaur upper stage with a singular upper stage engine. There is a 2, and that is used for Starliner. That one uses 2 of the Centaur upper stage engines.
Indeed. All right. Well, and also they all have fun nicknames. Do we have? They're on there. Slick Atlas, Slider, Twister, Noisemaker, Big Stick, Big Slider, Anti-M, Thunderer.
There are some inconsistencies about these names, by the way. I want to point out that in the past, the ULA X account, Tori Bruno, and ULA on official communications sometimes refer to the different versions with different names. There seem to be some fights about some of these names.
But this is the Bruiser. That one is agreed.
Yeah,
Bruiser is agreed.
Today we are going to be watching a Bruiser, hopefully weather permitting. But yeah, fighting about names? Huh? Who would ever do that? Who would ever fight about names?
At least it doesn't have the word star in it.
Star Atlas.
I will not bring up how you say the plural of Atlas.
Well, I was just about to ask, Adrian, how many Atlases? Atli? How many Atli are left?
I don't like Atli.
It's Atli, where it's canonically Atli now. We're moving on. How many Atli left?
13.
13?
13? Is it the 13? Sorry,
15. It's 15.
15, my god. Sorry, I got the wrong number in my head. 15. Potentially. I will add the disclaimer, potentially. We don't know exactly for what they are all assigned for and how many of these will exactly fly. But in theory, 15.
Right. As of right now, the schedule is 6 of them are set aside for Starliner. They have at least contracted 8 for remaining Kuiper flights. And then there is one that is up in the air what it will be assigned for. Well, on the ground.
There's also the question about, like, not to start a Starliner discussion, but there's also a question about Starliner and how many of these will be needed.
Right. Because haven't they set aside a certain number of them for Starliner?
Yes, 6.
Yep, 6.
There you go. Good question. That was also a question from Alec Griffiths, but it also just let me say the word Atli.
And just to be clear about this, Atlas is done with production. Like, people are saying, like, if people wondering, this is the finite amount of how many Atlas there can be. There is no more Atlas. There will not be any more constructed. ULA is now producing Vulcan. So this is a very, very limited amount. And after that, it's gone.
Right, this is like the closeout inventory. These are all the remaining Atlases they made. These are all the engines that they have because they do use the Russian-made RD-180 engine that they can no longer procure for various reasons, obviously. So, yeah, no more Atlases. It's going to be interesting to look back on the last 5 or so years or 10 years of rocket launches. We're saying goodbye to so many rockets, but we're also saying hello to so many other new rockets like Vulcan or New Glenn or Electron or Alpha, or Neutron. Like, the future is bright with rocket variety, but it's always sad to see a rocket family sort of winding down.
Yep, going to be so bright even though we don't see these gems anymore. The solid rocket boosters are gems.
But we're going to see gems on Vulcan. Vulcan also uses gems.
XLs, yes.
Really big gems. You're telling me big gems aren't good?
When they don't have observations, they're good.
Okay, that's fair. Let's see.
Just
was
a
also-
final note here.
ahead.
The liquid hydrogen load on Centaur has been completed, and that is the last of the Atlas 5 tanks that needs to be filled. So from now on, the rocket is on top of.
Excellent. Yeah, ULA does not use a load and go fueling system or setup like SpaceX does with Falcon 9.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, that was also a question from Michael Vandenberg. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. They said how many more atlases are possible, and we answered it. So there you go. Thank you, buddy, for the support. All right, I'm getting excited. 39 minutes. I know the weather isn't great, but I'm feeling optimistic. Adrian, are you feeling optimistic? Hopefully, maybe.
I'm about to give the most German answer ever, but I mean, I feel 20% go. Like, I mean, there's no. This sounds weird, but there's no feelings about whether it's either go or not go, right? So we will see. They will have a weather briefing. They will have a weather briefing ahead of the amazing, actually conducted go no go poll that ULA does. I'm just saying that. So yeah, we'll see what they say. They have not updated us on the weather lately, but I still feel there could be a bit of a let's try multiple times kind of situation.
I mean, the 2-hour window certainly helps. All right. Well, go ahead.
And to be fair, the 20% refers to 20% go in the duration of the window. So that basically means there's a 20% chance they can launch somewhere in that window.
Got it. All right. Well, 37 minutes, and we'll see what happens. Thank you to everyone joining us from Popular Science. Hi. Hello. Welcome. We are NSF. If you have never seen one of our streams, we point cameras at rockets whenever and however we can. And today, we're watching a ULA Atlas V launching 27 Kuiper satellites for Project Kuiper, a subsidiary of Amazon. It's going to be launching out of Florida. It's going northeast, and we're going to tell you all about it. Here's one, Sawyer, I'm going to throw at you. An interesting question from Solid Tank. They're asking, why isn't this flying on a Blue Origin rocket?
Well, this isn't flying on a Blue Origin rocket yet. The Kuiper satellite constellation now has multiple rockets that it will be flying on. It will be flying on Atlas V. Once those run out, it will also be flying on Vulcan. They now also have contracts to fly flights with Blue Origin, as well as flights to actually fly on 3 Falcon 9 rockets for SpaceX. After some of the people involved in the subsidiary, decided we should probably fly on multiple rockets just in case. So Blue will be launching some of these soon, but for now, Atlas, Vulcan, Blue, and SpaceX will be flying these particular satellites.
What do you mean? There's totally no relation between the Project Kuiper Systems LLC, a subsidiary by Amazon, and Blue Origin, right?
Right, but this, of course, on the screen that you see is the ULA Atlas V, ready to launch the first ever operational Kuiper satellites today, right, Jack?
It is 27 satellites today. This is going to be the second Kuiper mission, if memory serves. The first one launched, what, Sawyer 2?
It was 2 demonstration satellites. Yes, that was called the Proto Flight.
Nice. So today is going to be the first operational mission for Kuiper. Again, 27 satellites on this mission. It's launching out of Florida. It's going to be going northeast, right, Adrian? I think it's a northeasterly trajectory on tonight's launch.
That is correct. It is going northeast. I looked it up out of very selfish interest because it's very close to actually be visible in my night sky, when it coasts over Europe, but it just barely doesn't reach that. But yeah, it's a northeast trajectory out of the Cape.
Excellent. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Sawyer, if T0, the first one, is at 7, what time is sunset?
Sunset today is 7:44 p.m. Eastern Time, so it is not very likely that we would have a jellyfish effect, which I know is what you were aiming for, if we go at the top of the window. And for those wondering, that is when either right around sunrise or sunset, because of the angle of the sun hitting the rocket, you sometimes see the plume expand a bit more and lit in just a way where it looks like the top of a jellyfish. So we call that the jellyfish effect. That, of course, assuming that the clouds that are here also clear out, because as we were just pointing out, the weather currently is 20% favorable with concerns over those clouds as well as the winds.
I wanna once again shout out ULA here because I feel like it's sometimes not.
Are you feeling bad for your earlier comments?
No, I actually want to shout them out because honestly, their communications about the countdown is amazing. Like, I don't know of any other rocket company that is so good about constantly informing during their countdown where they are, what they're doing, and what the current updates are. For example, right now they said they are passing L minus 35 minutes, and they will be getting a full weather briefing a short time from now. Thanks for that.
Excellent. Yeah, to your point, Adrian, I don't know if everyone out there watching is as big of a nerds as us, because we are pretty gigantic nerds, but ULA posted a video recently, last couple of weeks, about their investigation into the observation, which, I mean, the nozzle fell off on one of their solids on the last Vulcan flight. They call it an observation. So do we. But they posted a really great in-depth video about their investigation into it. Imagine if we had a super in-depth video from SpaceX about all of their different investigations into all of their, test flights and issues with Starship. Imagine if we got a sick, summary video of, here's what happened on Flight 7, now let's move on to Flight 8. And then, when Flight 8 happened, that would be great again, also. Let's move on to Flight 9. Sorry, Sawyer, what?
That's what we're here for. That's what NSF is for. We provide that.
That's true. I'm definitely happy 2-point cameras at rockets, as previously stated.
Also, I have a question. You mentioned in that last update passing L minus 35 minutes. For those who may be wondering, the clock in our corner is L minus, not a T minus. What's the difference? Sure, Sawyer, I'll answer that.
We can just go. Sawyer's going to host and commentate.
No, but for those wondering, yes, the clock, and as you heard in that update, says L minus. For those just wondering, a T minus clock for an Atlas V rocket has built-in holds. So that one will get down to T minus 4 minutes and then hold for at minimum 15 minutes. Of course, they can extend that hold based off of rocket and weather needs. The L minus does not stop. So that is the actual continuous countdown towards the current planned T0 of 7 Eastern.
Fingers crossed they're able to thread the weather needle. We'll have to wait and see. Let's keep doing questions. Here's one from Jay Coral. Sorry about butchering your names. I'm trying. I really am. They're asking, will we see Kuiper trains like we do with Starlink? So, if you don't know what that means, a Starlink train is a sometimes visible phenomena of recently launched Starlink groups where, from your perspective on the ground, you'll have Starlink satellites flying over you that are illuminated. You're in shadow or in night, and you can see it looks like a string of lights going across the sky. It's pretty wild when you see a good Starlink train.
Yeah.
Do we know? Do we think Kuipers are going to also flare like that?
There's multiple layers to this answer. I will first start with, will there be a train of satellites that will distance away from each other over time? Most likely, yes. That is very likely. Then we talk about brightness here. So, for example, the Kuiper demo satellites were very bright. They were very, very bright. However, Amazon and Kuiper have confirmed that in addition, these satellites now feature a dielectric mirror film that will help scatter sunlight to make them less visible, which is very good because we want less influence on ground-based astronomy. So let's hope that effect properly works. So it's also a matter of visibility. But yes, there's a good chance that we will see some sort of train over time. And also, I want to quickly once again mention, let's hope these are not that visible, because then ground-based astronomy is less affected.
Yeah, here's the thing. Because of the way these satellites are launched en masse, Starlink and Kuiper, there's sort of a group of satellites that gets launched together, and then they slowly spread out, like you said, Adrian. And, at some point, they will be illuminated by the sun, and it's just a matter of are they going to take measures to rotate the satellites? Like you said, they're applying that dielectric film, and taking measures to make them less bright. And we saw the same thing with Starlink satellites. When Starlinks were first being launched, they were pretty bright, and then SpaceX took an active role in trying to make them dimmer. So I fully expect to see a similar situation with Kuiper, where there'll be Kuiper trains. Yeah, they'll probably be pretty bright to start, but hopefully, one would hope that Blue, wanting to be a good steward of Earth, Kuiper, wanting to be a good steward of Earth, will endeavor to make the satellites as dim as possible. It's a really interesting question. Any thoughts, Sawyer?
I mean, they have the special paint that they're applying to these now as well that's meant to be less reflective. I guess more reflective in that it bounces the sun away from it, so it's less reflective. But, I mean, as we launch more and more of these satellites, because there are expected to be in the Kuiper constellation, if all goes according to plan, 3,232. I love that 3232 satellites. So just like adding in SpaceX's thousands that they have currently, plus the 3,232 from these, it's extremely important that we try our best at least to keep the sky as clear as we can, which I know is very difficult given the need for both the internet connectivity and this many satellites.
Indeed, it is. It's important. We love our planet, and we love astronomy. All right. We are at L-28 minutes to go. You are looking at an Atlas 551, an Atlas 551 at Slick 41 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Once again, welcome to all of our popular science viewers. Welcome to everybody who's hanging out with us and watching this rocket come to life on the pad on a Wednesday evening. 27 Kuiper satellites getting ready to go into space. Let's answer some more questions. Let's see. Christopher Hill asked, is this the first Kuiper launch? We talked about this a little bit earlier, but no, this will be the first operational, but the second launch. Here's one from Eric Fraser. What's up, Eric? Always enjoy seeing your name pop up in chat, even when it's being very sarcastic. They say, how does the Kuiper constellation compare or differ from Starlink? Number of satellites, coverage, etc. Sawyer, I'll throw this one to you, because you were just mentioning number of satellites. You said, what, 3,000? 3,232? Or numbers?
Yeah, it's fun to remember with the 3232, yes. So in terms of difference, this one is, as you see with the inclination as well, going to 51.9 degrees inclined. So you're not really getting those polar launches like you would see for some of the Vandenberg type orientations. But the plan, if I recall, is to have 3 different shells, but multiple different kind of angles within those shells that they'll be launched. So you're talking ones at 400-ish, 500-ish, and 600-ish kilometers above the surface of the Earth. So, and a reminder, the ISS is about 400 in terms of reference. So these will be slightly higher than some of the Starlink satellites. Of course, Starlink also has some of those satellites that are set to go higher than the ISS. But in general, it's kind of similar. They will also have the idea to communicate with each other via laser. So again, so it's going to be interesting to see how they do on the market. But these tend to be a little higher and at a slightly different orientation.
All right, there you go.
And I should specify that the Vandy launches aren't necessarily polar. They're just more of a 53 degree, whereas here they're more 51.9. And it's kind of the whole north-south deal. So it's a little different, but still.
Got it. Booster 9 asking how many satellites on board and what Atlas V is being used. 27 satellites. And as we talked about a little bit ago, it is an Atlas 551. Right, Adrian?
Correct. It's 5 with 5 SRBs, the bigger fairing, and 1 Centaur.
Excellent.
One
RL-10 on the Centaur.
Yeah, I should class. I caught myself there. I'm like, technically.
I don't know if Moldy Space is in chat or watching right now, but if they are, I humbly request a multi-Centaur Atlas V in Kerbal Space Program.
That would structurally probably not work.
Oh, you've never met Moldy Space then. All right, let's see. Magnum's asking, do we know the mass of the satellites and why the second stage, that's the Centaur we're talking about, will take 14 minutes to complete its burn? Well, the Centaur is a really low thrust upper stage, so it just burns a very long time. As for the mass of the satellites, Sawyer, do we know that? Is that something they've released?
Just check.
Wait, hey, I'm trying to take a look right now and see. I'm not sure, Adrian, if you have those numbers available.
Yeah, so they didn't say. They only confirmed that it's, to my knowledge, is the heaviest payload Atlas has ever lifted.
Whoa.
But I don't think we have an actual number. In general, I would say we have limited knowledge about these satellites right now. I mean, we have not even seen them.
Yeah, that was my next question, is we have no idea what they look like, do we?
No, I will quickly bring an update here, and if that's okay, Jack, and then I'll answer that question.
Please.
Because we just got an update from ULA that weather remains no-go. Weather is observed and forecast no-go for an on-time liftoff, Weather Officer Brian Belson says. He estimates that the cumulus cloud rule could clear by 8 p.m. EDT. There's no estimate on when the gusty winds will ease. So that would mean that they are probably going for 1 hour into the window at 8 p.m. It's not confirmed yet there, but that seems like the estimation here that ULA is going for.
Right. Well,
jellyfish baby.
Yeah, thank you, Sawyer. One, that takes us a little bit closer to a time when, it takes us exactly, if they do go to 8, that takes us exactly to a time when the launch will be truly spectacular. So that's a good thing. Also, 2-hour window, so, using the window as they should and can. We're so spoiled by Falcon 9s launching Starlinks just left and right these days. This is how rocket launches go. Everything has to be just right.
Or no go.
Or no go. Yeah. Let's do some more questions. Also, Gort from Ort? Is that a reference to something? Thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Let's see. Galty Bro is asking, why is the cargo fairing so much bigger than a Falcon 9's fairing, by example? Sawyer? Fairing size? I mean, because it needs to be.
I mean, in terms of the fairing size for this, in terms of volume, it's somewhat similar to Falcon 9. Obviously, you've got the 5 meters upward. But in terms of the amount of volume, that's actually why you see a kind of similar number of satellites with 27 of these. Although this will be the heaviest Atlas V that has been launched with all of these. Also, I guess kind of adding into the question earlier about the 14-minute burn. They're pretty heavy satellites, and they're going initially into about a 400-kilometer circular orbit before reaching one of the other orbits, which are 500, 550, and 600 kilometers, just to clarify my numbers earlier.
There you go. Good deal. Thank you for the clarification. So yeah, I mean, about the same size as Falcon 9's fairing, but can this 5-meter fairing get even bigger? This is the medium 5-meter fairing on Atlas, right?
I think you're thinking Vulcan. Vulcan is the one that has the small and the medium. They've got, or the medium, the regular sized and the long sized fairings. So I'm sure that'll be different for once they start launching these Kuiper satellites on Vulcan, which is the plan. But the largest kind of payload that we're looking at for these is what you see on the pad right now.
Got it.
Let's just hope we get that Vulcan Heavy at some point.
Oh, jeez.
Everybody, I don't know if you are superstitious or spiritual or what, but you know what? Hope for Vulcan Heavy.
Yes, that's all. I agree. We really need Vulcan Heavy to exist, and that's referring to a triple core Vulcan.
Oh, hang on. I think we have.
So we're getting the showers and the associated strong winds associated with this low that is sitting off the coast. So we're going to need the showers to push a little bit farther to the east, and we're also going to need these winds to come down as the evening progresses. So some of the model guidance is indicating that the winds are going to come down a little bit, so that's what the launch weather team is going to be monitoring. Currently, our probability of violation is 80% at the opening of the window and trending down to 60% as we go towards the ends of that 2-hour launch window. So not saying that there isn't any hope, and if there is a window of favorable weather, the launch weather team is going to find it. Guys, back to you.
There we go.
Awesome weather update from Space Launch Delta 45 there. Thank you to them for that. Awesome. Well, hopefully they can find a break in the weather. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely, and we are waiting still. They have not the graph in the top left. I know there was just like a T0 displayed there, but just to be pointing that out, that is not the current L- clock they're going for, and we expect to receive a new L- time very soon with the new target time.
Right, 'cause we should be coming up very shortly on the T-minus 4-minute hold, which usually is about 15 minutes before. So they can hold in that basically until 8:56 for this particular window.
Yep,
Ooh, look, you can see the 3 SRBs right there.
Oh, they look so beautiful.
Are they
And we, I
SRBs or they SRMs? I'm sorry.
I have no idea.
Chat, let me know. Sorry, Adrian, what were you going to say?
That we are now apparently in the T-minus 4-minute hold.
All right. And Alex is yelling at me in the back channel, says they're SRMs. Thank you. They're SRMs. They're solid rocket motors, not boosters. We want to be precise here with our wording.
So from now on, the rocket is basically in an unpaused top-off and just awaits to be unpaused.
Yeah, well, that's how ULA does their count, right? So I guess with the vehicle being in a 4-minute hold, once again, we just hope that the weather cooperates. Hopefully we'll get a new 2-0 here shortly. In the meantime, Caitlin Lindsay, thank you for that super chat. They say, how far up the coast will this be visible? How far up the coast? I mean, it depends on when it launches. If it goes at 8, it might be visible quite a ways up the eastern coast.
I think there's a launch visibility graph. That's like a very optimal case, to be fair. But there it is. You can see it fairly far if it really has like good conditions.
Right. Yeah. So take a look at this visibility map. The concentric rings sort of indicate, at what point in that ring you should be able to see it, because you're not going to see it right at. If you're really far away, you're not going to see it right at liftoff or shortly after liftoff because, the Earth is curved. So you're going to have to wait for it to come over the horizon and ascend into the sky. So if you are wondering, will it be visible from where I'm at on the eastern seaboard or the East Coast, really, check out that visibility map. I love that ULA puts these out.
Hey, Jack, remember this whole thing that I said at the beginning of the stream about they could hold and then like go into this weather jumping?
No, I have no memory of that whatsoever, Adrian.
Should I read a new update from ULA here?
Yes, please do.
T-minus 4 minutes in holding. The countdown has entered a planned hold point. We will remain at this pause to await improvement in the weather conditions. Tonight's available launch opportunity lasts 2 hours from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We can stay in this hold indefinitely while we monitor the winds and clouds cover.
All right. So does everyone have their popcorn and their tasty beverage and some snacks and a comfy chair? Because we have a window and they're going to try and thread the needle.
Yep. And it's 2 hours and 15 minutes until window closure.
All right. Well, keep your questions coming. If you have any questions, type down there into the YouTube chat at NASASpaceflight, and we'll see your questions pop up in the queue that we have here. Also, Jeff Rowe, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. That's awfully nice of you. What was that, Adrian?
This is now the weather watching podcast featuring NSF.
we need Adam for that. We don't have Adam.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Let's see. More questions. Jim Johnston is asking, I work in offshore oil fields in Newfoundland, and we have a rocket hazard area between the Greenbank oil fields and YYT. What would this hazard area be for? Is that for this launch? Because there is a wacky hazard area sort of way out by Europe, I guess, I guess, right?
There is one around, like, just south of Ireland. Yes. There's
And there
one
is an
south.
additional one.
Go
Oops,
ahead.
sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say there is an additional one actually right where they're discussing off the coast of Newfoundland. There's also one near the coast of North Carolina. I'm wondering if that's in relation to the first ones being for the solid rocket motors, and then the one further up being for the first stage separating, and the red one potentially being for the second stage.
Could
I
be.
could be wrong, but just looking at that, it would make sense that they would be for the solid rocket motors in the first stage for sure.
Right. Well, hazard areas all over the Atlantic. Interesting. More questions. Connor Fox with a timely question asking, is this an instantaneous launch window? Why not? No, thank goodness it's not, because it would already be game over. This is a 2-hour window, as we've talked about. Why? Because they're not rendezvousing with anything. Is that a fair assessment, you think?
They have plenty of times to adjust where they're going, basically. So they will first all go into a stable below final constellation orbit, and then will start to rise their orbits with the satellites. And that's kind of giving them a lot of wiggle room when to do it and in which plane to launch into. There's plenty of opportunity for them to adjust it. There's also non-rendezvous launches that are very precise, but this is just not one of them. This is very similar to Starlink, where it doesn't matter where in the 4, 6, whatever hours, they're launching.
Also,
And
can't Atlas do RAN steering, RAAN steering, where it can basically? Oh, man, I am so at the edge of my rocket knowledge. So please tell me you were about to talk about RAN steering.
I was not. That's probably an Adrian answer. I was going to mention the fact that also it doesn't have to be instantaneous because it's already fueled at this point. It's not a load and go like SpaceX where they load it up slowly. The fact that it is already propellants, all the propellants are on board and they're just in top off and it can sit there for hours helps with that. If you want to talk about the steering, Adrian, go ahead.
I don't have anything to add to RAN steering. I will totally. I'm also on the edge of my rocket knowledge there, and I don't want to go beyond it.
RAN steering means right ascension of the ascending node steering. That's what RAN stands for. I know that. I know that it means they can gimbal the engines in a way. Orbital dynamics something means the window isn't instantaneous. That's that's the embarrassing limit of my knowledge on that. But it's another reason why potentially, even with an ISS launch, Atlas can avoid an instant window. Let's see. D. Lucy, thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships, and the Nozzle also gifting a Red Team membership.
Thanks to
Thank
Nozzle.
you so much. The Nozzle. Oh, I need to watch Venture Brothers again.
I did get that reference.
You wouldn't.
That was so mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Brave Recruit 75. Thank you for the support or for the question there. They're saying, what is the difference between a solid rocket motor and a solid rocket booster? Ooh, I think boosters have segments. Motors are cast as one monolithic thing. Sawyer, is that way off?
Other than the name solid rocket motor versus solid rocket booster, I'm not entirely sure, honestly. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the answer to that one.
I do think it's it has to do with how the propellant is cast.
I really think it's an arbitrary decision by the company to name them either A or B.
Oh, okay then.
I'm not sure. I wish there was more in it, but I'm not sure. And I also am hearing we have a new T0 of 7:40 Eastern, which is 40 minutes into the window.
All right. Well, hooray! New T0.
Yay!
A new T0 is better than that other thing that I'm not going to say.
Launching?
No. That's all. That's better than a new T0. That's like a hierarchy. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of.
Yeah,
launch.
we need a good things pyramid here.
I won't even try and say a word near it just because of my luck.
Yeah, please don't. Cool. Well, waiting now. We're at L minus 49 minutes. Again, that's L minus because the T minus clock is right now at 4 minutes and holding. So when the L minus and T minus clock sync up and they leave the hold, then we'll be in we'll be in launch posture. I was gonna say then we'll be in party town, but that doesn't make any sense. But is that right, Slayer? Is that a fair description of the L minus versus T minus clock?
Yes, it is with a hold versus time to party town. Yes.
Oh God, what have I done?
Oh, this is going places.
Creative Bites with another good question asking, how does propulsion on the Atlas V differ from Falcon 9? I mean, they're both Kerlox rockets for the first stage, but obviously Falcon 9 doesn't use solids.
I mean, yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. Like the solids really do the majority of the lifting until like separation. They are really they pack a lot of punch. Let's word it like that. They have a lot of thrust.
I think Tori Bruno has said that solid motors are a cheat code in rocketry or something like that. Like
yes.
it's a quote I remember him having.
Just to give you a bit of an understanding here, the first stage, so the first stage propulsion has about 3.8 meganewton of thrust. Each SRB has 1.6. So even in a 2 configuration, the SRBs will already produce about as much thrust as the first stage. If you talk about 5 SRBs, we are over double the thrust from the SRBs versus the first stage.
Plus, as you pointed out, the propellants are in fact different. You have the Kerlox, as you mentioned, for the first stage, plus the solids. You also have liquid hydrogen, so Hydrolox for the second stage. That will help it. Also, you're talking 9 Merlin 1D engines versus, in this case, you have the singular RD-80, although you've got the weird nozzles on them. And then the upper stage also is the Centaur upper stage with the RL-10 engines versus, a vacuum version of the same first stage engine.
Right. SpaceX kind of they reused Merlin on the upper stage with just a bigger nozzle, and they used the same propellant. They sacrificed some performance on Falcon 9's upper stage because of that, but also they gained simplicity. It's all, rockets. It's all about what trade-offs you're going to decide to make.
Yep.
I like the RD-180 though. I'm going to be sad when the RD-180 goes away, just personally. Some of my very favorite rocket photos I've ever taken are of an RD-180. It's like a really weird what is it? A dual combustion chamber, but it's technically one engine, Sawyer?
Exactly, yes. It's called one engine, but you'll notice what looks like 2 engine bells. It is just a singular engine. Plus, if you've listened to any of our Starship coverage, you hear the Raptors make a honking noise. There is a very distinct noise with the RD-180s when they ignite. So if it does go today, you're going to have to listen for that sound because it is very unique.
Yeah, it's pretty special. Atlas is a very cool rocket, and not just because it's full of cryogenic propellants right now. Well, minus the non-cryogenic RP1. You know what I mean.
I love that you have extra be careful when Sawyer is on the stream to disclaim that, because there might be a cryo pun coming right after.
Yeah, no, you have to get out in front of it.
Headed off the pass. Yep.
Yep.
I hate that cliche.
Chris is asking, does Atlas V use stubby nozzles? Arguably, the RD-180's nozzles are kind of stubby. Not in the same sense that a Falcon 9 upper stage nozzle is stubby, but, I'd be willing to call an RD-180's nozzle stubby.
I wouldn't.
Okay, I'll move on.
Sorry, I'm just I just want to refuse the idea of more stubby nozzles existing in rocketry.
That's fair.
I like them. Like I think they're reasonably sized for first stage nozzles.
What was there was an upper stage. Oh god, it might have been an ICBM upper stage. But the nozzle was short, it was stubby, but once stage SEP happened, the nozzle actually extended. I forget. Alex is saying that's Delta 4 Heavy. Was that Delta 4 Heavy?
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
Delta. That's the what is it, the ICPS? They basically have an RL-10 engine that is able to the DCSS on Delta and the ICPS on SLS. There we go. They have the ability to extend their nozzle using a nozzle extender system, and with that to boost efficiency. So yeah, that's a system that will that they both use. That is not present on Atlas, to my knowledge.
Do we want to? I mean, we have 43 minutes. Do we want to talk about why nozzle? We always talk about stubby nozzle or not, but we never ask why nozzle.
You never ask how nozzle. Yeah.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, he did. But no, the nozzles you see on upper stages are typically way bigger because that allows the plume to impart more energy on the vehicle. Less is lost. Less energy is lost. Theoretically, if you had an infinitely large nozzle, you could capture an infinite amount of energy from your plume, but at a certain point it becomes impractical, mass-wise and size-wise, etc. So you have to make a trade-off, like everything in rocketry. But that's why upper stage nozzles are so much bigger, typically. Unless we're talking about Falcon 9's stubby nozzle on its upper stage, which makes a different trade-off, but that's not what's launching today. Today, again, it's an Atlas 551, which... Oh, there's another weather update. Let's listen.
The minus 20 Celsius level, it's a 10 nautical mile standoff from the launch pad and the flight path. So that's likely what we're dealing with here. These are pretty tall showers. So the launch weather team is monitoring this. We're watching the motion here. So notice that they are pushing to the south and maybe a little bit to the east. So if we could get these to push a little bit farther to the east and get outside of that 10 nautical mile range, we could potentially clear that cumulus cloud roll. Now we're also watching some more showers that are developing farther to the north. Now again, they look like they're trying to push a little bit farther to the east, but again, the team will be monitoring these other showers that are starting to come in from the north. And then if we switch to winds, this is the other weather factor that we're monitoring here tonight. So notice the red numbers here. So that is the gusts right along these our weather towers here at the Cape and KSC. We're monitoring the wind. So notice that the gusts are in the low to mid 30s. We're seeing some peaks miles per hour. So again, we're going to need some of those gusts to come down in addition to the showers pushing a little bit farther away from the launch pad. So those are the two factors. It does look like it is improving marginally as we go towards the end of the window. So again, the POV currently 80% at the opening of the window, but as we push later, it does look like it improves a little bit. So that's what the team's going to be watching. Again, as I mentioned, if we can find a gap in the weather and if we can find some good conditions, the launch weather team will give that go call. So guys, back to you.
I love that he does the throw back to the ULA commentators because I can pretend like he's doing the throw back to me. Thanks so much. All right, let's get back at it. Speaking of, the Nozzle gifted a Red Team membership. Apocalypse Cow gifting 5. Thank you so much. If your name in chat just turned green, that's because you got gifted a membership. So be sure to thank the person that gave it to you. That's awfully nice of them. And now you have a whole bunch of sweet perks that you can access in the YouTube community page on our channel. RC Horseman gifting 5 Red Team memberships. And Jamie grabbing the 2025 calendar. Thank you, Jamie. They say, I've been following NSF since Starhopper, and you guys helped me cope during COVID lockdowns. You are absolutely rock stars. Thank you so much. It absolutely means the world to us that we can bring people some happiness in times of woe. Also, rockets. Rockets are good, right?
Yeah, like rockets.
They're not bad.
And also, we can now celebrate the opening of the window, everybody. We
Yay!
are officially in the launch window.
Wait.
Party time, but not actual party time.
Yeah, we're not in party town, but it is party time.
Yeah, we're like in the near proximity of the party town. Like,
We can hear the bass from the party, but we are not yet through the door yet.
you can see the laser show going and everything. Yeah.
Sounds like a good party.
Yeah.
No lasers near rockets. That's bad.
All right, fair. Also,
no lasers.
Also, nothing that can broadcast Wi-Fi. You're gonna have to leave all your phones and smartwatches and everything in a box.
Yeah, no RF transmission and everything. It's a very without phone. That's good, right? Like it's a without phone party.
Yeah,
Although the Kuiper satellites do use laser link communication, so I guess there are lasers at the party. It's just used on these 27 satellites to help communicate with each other to help provide internet to people that use the Kuiper services once it's up and running.
That's actually a really good point. It took a while for Starlinks to get the laser links, right? Like that was an evolution that they worked up toward. This is the first operational Kuiper mission, and yet these sats are going to have laser links already, which is pretty cool.
Can I also extremely appreciate that ULA took the time to have a typing animation in their live updates, because you can literally see when the comms person is typing a new update.
I like it.
And when they post a new update, it makes a Windows XP ding, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, it's like a ding. It's about to happen, by the way. They're typing.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a little while ago, near the start of the stream, Adrian, that they are very good with their communication in the lead up to launch, and it's true, and it's a little thing, but being able to see that they're typing, it's valuable for those of us who have like.
Yeah, you can see it. They're typing.
Oh,
they stopped typing.
Oh, they stopped typing. Oh, they're typing again.
Typing.
I love this.
I love this so
much. Rocket Bay is going to give us an update.
Yeah, it's like any moment. Sometimes they type for a very long time.
It just says, "You up?"
But it's amazing. I love this, honestly. Like I feel like this live communication is so good for us as like journalists, because hey, we get these cool live updates and they help us cover this properly.
Plus, all of their polls are done out loud as opposed to by buttons on their consoles, such as SpaceX. ULA does actual out loud go no go polls.
I do love the out loud go no go polls. Now DOS has got me wondering if that animation is it on a loop or is it real? I really want to know if it's real. Like I wouldn't waste a question at a press conference for that, but if I saw a ULA comms person like when I was setting remotes for a launch, I'd be like, "Hey, is that real?"
It's sometimes not happening. Like the fact that it's right now not happening, and that like I feel like it's sometimes not there for like 5 minutes. So.
I mean, I'm the type of person that I would have enough anxiety knowing that it was real that I would type the update that I was going to do in like a note app and then paste it in. Like, do we think that they're really like drafting the updates in the interface that's showing us that they're drafting? I don't know. I'm questioning reality.
We are about 2 minutes away from talking about this. Where there's the update. They're saying if you're expecting okay, nothing really new there. Sorry.
All right, but they did type something, and it was a lot, so it makes sense why they were typing for a while.
Yeah, see, and now they're not typing anymore. It's obviously real typing because you can see they're no longer typing because they just posted an update.
Here's the
latest update is that there's no update as we continue to wait a new teaser or continue to count down towards 7:40 p.m.
I mean, that is an update. The absence of new information is, in fact, information. But wait, something we haven't talked about yet. We haven't talked about this yet. At least not since we've got the new T0, I don't think. 7:40? Sawyer, when did you say sunset was? ...
7:44 p.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, so maybe not for those in the immediate vicinity, but perhaps those of you up the eastern seaboard, if this T0 holds and it goes at 7:40, could be quite a show. I'm excited for that. You can see the visibility map right there.
If no clouds.
If no clouds, yeah, come on.
And if the winds and showers that are offshore here continue to pass in time.
I said if. Come on, let me have this. Let me be excited.
Yeah, I mean, you're entitled to be excited. Like, it's totally fine.
If they thread the weather needle, this could be good. Anyway, I'll shush now. Setting expectations is good, Sawyer. Thank you.
Of course. I say that as the person sitting in their car with the winds rocking it side to side, looking at the vehicle out there and the clouds rolling by.
About how far away are you, Sawyer? Do you know?
This would be about 3-ish miles, I believe, from the pad. It's pretty close here as we look out over the water. Again, you can see there's some white caps starting to form on the water just with how strong the winds are here, which obviously a concern ahead of liftoff.
Yeah, wow. Nice and close, though. Hopefully this thing gets off the ground tonight and you have an awesome view.
This is a great spot for sound, especially. So if it does go off, and when it does go off, we'll have some amazing audio for you from here, that's for sure.
Sweet. Let me thank some people here. I do want to make sure those of you who are supporting what we do are appreciated. So Paul Webb, thank you for the tip to tips.nasaspaceflight.com. Yet another way you can support what we do. They say the best way to use one of those prepaid... What the... What is that? Thank you. Barbara Wells, let's see, upgraded their membership to Red Team. Thank you so much. Whoa, and they upgraded to Launch Director. Barbara, thank you so much. You get all the perks. Like, literally, all the perks. You get all of them. So thank you so much. You get the pre-show and post-show to the Flame Trench that we do. You get access to Discord. You get access to everything. And you get your name at the end of NSF Live episodes and Flame Trench episodes. So thank you. Cole, grabbing a print from the store. They say, waiting in the parking lot at Playa Linda Beach, hoping Atlas is a go. Come on, ULA, make rocket go. Yes, in classic Simpsons fashion. Make rocket go now. Barbara Wells again with a Red Team membership. Thank you. Nibbles with a Red Team membership gift. Jake becoming a Red Team member. And Chris W. saying, I have the best choice in bagels with a super chat. Thank you, Chris.
Is that a burner?
Let's move on.
Are they on the East Coast? If they're on the East Coast, then they're right.
No, that's Chris W. Isn't Chris W like on the team? That wasn't me. It wasn't me at all.
They are, yes, but they're.
I
if
certainly
they're on the
didn't.
East Coast, then they're correct.
I certainly didn't pay anybody to do that.
I will not go the rabbit hole of discussing.
I said I didn't. I said I did not.
No. Here goes Jack's journalistic integrity when it comes to bagels.
Chris did that of his own volition. I swear.
I feel like the more you mention it, the less it convinces me. So yeah, how you feel about that? Like,
I agree completely.
There is no universe in which I would ever consider bribing Chris W to do a super chat about bagels on stream while we're live in Sawyer.
But that sounds exactly like what you do.
Yeah, that sounds like what you would say if you did bribe someone to say that on stream.
I promise I didn't.
It's getting less and less convincing.
Yeah, I agree.
The best part is I really didn't, but it's really fun to make you think I did. Good deal.
By the way, for the people wondering what's going on, Jack has a horrible taste at identifying bagels. Go to his X profile and see it.
False. All right, rockets, am I right?
Yeah,
by the way, Chris W says you can pay me later, Jack.
Bro! Come on, man. Oh, God. Let's see. More questions.
Wonderful.
James Haig's asking, I'm guessing this has been asked, but I saw the trajectory for this, and it looked like it goes over the UK. Would it be visible if so? Potentially. I mean, maybe like it's like a point of light? Like the second stage?
Yeah, as a fellow European trying to spot second stager here, it depends on the second stage. It depends on the light and conditions. It's honestly unlikely. You kind of need to hope for a relight over you. That's always helping. Or if you are in jellyfish territory, that also sometimes helps. So basically the second stage being illuminated and you're not anymore. I saw some Falcon 9s here, at least in Germany, from time to time, when they just happen to coast over here. But it's really depending on very good visibility or in the best case relight. But yeah, it's also quite south for the UK, I want to say, because it's kind of not really going over the UK. It's more going between France and Spain.
Got it. All right. Well, my my default answer whenever somebody asks something like this is, what's the harm if you're around and you might as well just go outside? You're already up, you're already watching the stream, just go outside and look up. Worst case, you see nothing. Best case, you see something really cool, like when a Falcon upper stage does its pacification vent or whatever, does that crazy spiral thing. Like, you never know what you're gonna see.
Yeah. I mean, imagine seeing that and thinking it's like not something different, and you don't even realize it's a rocket thing. That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, imagine seeing that and like not even taking sick photos of it, even if you had like a whole bunch of awesome camera equipment and like
Oh,
we're
that
really
would be
good at that sort of
awful.
thing, and you were like in the exact right position at time and place, and like that would be terrible.
And imagine talking with two other rocket nerds, and we're like, "Oh, that's a strange phenomenon." But I guess we go inside, right? Like,
It happens.
I'm in pain.
It happens. Let's see. Astro Guy is asking, why is Amazon using Atlas V instead of Falcon 9, even though it's cheaper? Sawyer?
Well, they actually will be Falcon 9 as well. Of course, the original plan was to use up some of the final Atlas V's with it, which they will be doing, and then move on to Vulcan. After a recent shareholder meeting, it was decided that they would branch out to more launch providers as well. So these will be launching aboard Atlas V, Vulcan, Blue Origin's New Glenn, as well as SpaceX's Falcon 9 for 3 launches. So it is a multi-vehicle deployment for these.
Yeah, pretty nifty. Like, they're not limiting themselves to one vehicle. Although I do wonder, like, when they start launching on Vulcan or New Glenn, will they version the satellites and make ones that are bigger to take advantage of the wider diameter fairing kind of thing? I wish we even knew what a Kuiper satellite looked like.
Yeah, and again, as you pointed out, and we were discussing earlier, the volume inside of the payload fairing for this is very similar to a Falcon 9 that is used for the Starlink. So that's why we're carrying 27 on this particular one. It'll be interesting to see how many they can do inside of Vulcan, which has the option for a longer fairing, as well as on board New Glenn, which has a 7-meter diameter payload fairing.
You mean Glenny?
No.
Sure. Kinda.
Sawyer said sure. Sawyer said sure.
No.
Adrian, it's 2 against 1. It's Glenny.
I'm independent on this. I'm Switzerland on this.
You said sure. That's not independent.
A very hesitant sure. Not
You said sure. You can't take it back. I have it live on air.
Rockets.
Thank you.
No problem.
26 minutes to go to this T0. No recent update on the weather. Hopefully it's beginning to clear. We'll wait for more official word from ULA themselves. In the meantime, we're hanging out. We're answering your questions. We're arguing about bagels. You know the drill. Here's one. CSLR's other channel is asking, do we know how fast Kuiper will be compared to Starlink? Well, it all depends on orbital dynamics, you see. If they're orbiting higher up, they necessarily need to be going faster. That's.
I think they meant internet speeds.
Yeah, it was a bad joke.
It's bad when you have to explain it's a joke, not ironically.
Thanks, Sawyer. But yeah,
You're welcome,
we have no idea about speeds, do we? I mean, this is only the first operational mission.
Right. I know intra-satellite, because of the laser link communications, we're talking 100 gigabits per second of speed between them. So as for what the ground speeds will be, I'm not sure. They won't even be offering satellite availability for people until they have, I believe it's 573 satellites in orbit and operational. Of course, the final constellation is expected to have over 3,000. So it's still going to be a little bit before we actually see operational speeds. And just like Starlink, with the first initial satellites, there's going to be more dropout periods and learning curves. But as they get into the thousands, that's when you see the sort of Starlink internet connection that we're used to, hopefully with Kuiper, and we'll see what those speeds end up being.
We shall see. Also, I want to correct myself. Lower orbit means faster. Higher orbit would be slower. I'm bad at orbital mechanics. I just point camera, push button. Don't blame me, please. I'm sorry.
But you're good at that, so.
Debatable. Theodore, thank you for the super chat. Bob, thank you for grabbing a print from the store and the kind words. They say hats off to your photo crews. It means the world. And also, thank you to Miranda Rights for becoming a PadRat member.
And when it comes to Bagels Jack, you have the right to remain silent.
Wow, Sawyer. Wow. Rocket Scientist is asking, how do they compensate for 2 boosters on one side and 3 on the other? We were talking earlier about the asymmetric booster mounting. Do they just deal with that by gimbling the RD-180 nozzles?
They both do that and also just accept slide. Like, there are several versions of Atlas that just accept that they slide.
Yeah,
There's
you can
literally
see it
one
as they lift off the pad,
Yeah.
especially the ones with a single solid.
They're literally called Big Slider, right?
Right.
So,
As opposed to Astra's Rocket 3, which was Little Slider.
wow.
Come on, it was
Hey,
right
I was
there.
waiting for that.
It was right there. Come on. Let's see. Six String Simpleton said all solid rocket motors are solid. Sorry, all solid rocket boosters are solid rocket motors. Concurrently, not all solid rocket motors are solid rocket boosters. It's like squares and rectangles. I'll accept that.
I don't know. All the SRMs, SRBs go in the square hole.
Okay, EJ. Chris W is asking, how many flights are slated for Kuiper with Atlas and Falcon? Sorry, I'm going to throw that one at you.
Yeah, so for Atlas, there are 8 of them scheduled. I know there are 3 that are currently set aside for the SpaceX Falcon 9. I'm trying to recall the exact number for the rest of them, but again, considering how many they'll need total for the constellation, Adrian, you got the rest of the numbers?
Yes, it's 38 for Vulcan VC6L. It's 18 for Ariane 6, and it's 12 to 27 for New Glenn.
It's a lot of rocket launches in the coming years between Starlink and Kuiper and everybody else. Oh yeah, also Starship and tanker flights.
Yeah,
I will say, I also forgot that Ariane 6 is also set to launch some of these too. The sort of hidden, forgotten about the European rocket for these.
Yeah, it's the second most launches even. It's the second most launches of Kuiper will be on Ariane 6. Woo, Europe! There we go.
How do you really feel?
Nope, not the stage for this.
Starting to get some really beautiful golden hour lighting on the vehicle and the pad. I like that. Really nice. Let's see. Clinton Hunter is asking how many Atlas launches are left before the full switch to Vulcan. Are they going to just fly out the remaining 15 Atli, or they're going to kind of stagger the changeover, right, Sawyer?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't fly all of them. They're all manufactured pretty much at this point. It's not like they have to still make a few. The production line is shut down for Atlas. So they have 15 of them, 8 of them for these. You have 6 of them set aside for Starliner if they choose to use all of them. And then an additional one that what its exact use for is up in the air, so to speak. They're deciding on exactly what that one will be. So 15 remaining.
I'm so getting close to really I agree with what's said in the back channel. Like, somebody should really ask Tori Bruno what the plural of Atlas is, and I hope it's not Atli.
It's Atli.
I think it's Atlas. I think it's 1 Atlas, 5 Atlas.
Fine. Okay. I'll give up the Atli argument. Fine, it's Atlas's.
I'm not happy that you give that up, because that means you will get something else somewhere.
It's just a matter of time.
Yep.
Let's do some more questions while we hit L-20 minutes. Hopefully the weather will cooperate here. as we get closer to that L- and T- 4-minute mark. Oliver Remund is asking, why would SpaceX launch Kuiper if Kuiper is competing with Starlink? Great stream as usual, by the way. Thank you. Because Starlink is a subsidiary of SpaceX. SpaceX is a launch provider. It's not like Starlink, the company, is the one launching Kuiper satellites on Falcon 9. Yes, there's a relationship there, but I mean, come on. It's SpaceX's first and foremost job is to launch satellites for themselves and competitors, and this wouldn't be the first time that they launched. They wouldn't be the first time they've launched, satellites that arguably were competing with Starlink. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I don't know. So am I way off base, Sawyer? Anything to add?
No, again, just like in this case, Kuiper is a subsidiary of Amazon as well. And when it comes to launching these satellites, it really comes down to who can do it the cheapest and get the payload capacity that you're looking for. And the fact that they were able to get some Falcon 9s that could have the capacity to carry the needed satellites. Obviously, they prefer the rockets that can carry more of them at once. So that's why we're seeing more of them, say, for an Ariane 6 or for New Glenn, where you have that larger payload fairing and that diameter and volume in general. But hey, if you can get it for cheap and get it up, then go for it, especially since per their license with the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, they have to have a certain number of them up and operational by mid next year. So the easiest way to do that is to have as many launches as possible.
And
There you go. Adrian, do you have an update for us?
yeah, imagine. So you like that clock in the top left, Jack, right? You like how it looks and everything. Imagine if you it just got 20 more minutes on it because the new T0 is 0003 UTC or 8:03 local time. So
remember that time when we started a stream a while ago and you were like weather hopping and I giggled? Remember that?
Yeah, when you giggled, but you all knew, like you knew in your core, it's gonna be it.
All right, so L- 40 minutes to go. Another slip, thanks to what is it? The winds this time again, Adrian?
It's the winds. The winds are red.
Dang it! All right, well, ULA working no vehicle issues right now, so just waiting on the weather to cooperate, which fingers crossed it does. So T0 is now what, Adrian? 8:03?
Yes, we are now 63 minutes in the 120-minute window.
All right, so a little over halfway through the window. More opportunities if this T0 does not cooperate. I'm loving the Pelican cam. Whose shot is this, Jay? Is this from D?
That's D's shot, yes.
Excellent.
There's just
Always.
a bird that's been hanging around out in kind of the middle of the water, but with such a large lens, you see him swooping in front of the rocket a bunch.
Nice.
I mean, the weather looks good from that camera. Can we just have this weather?
Yeah, just a little bit windy is the only problem.
Here's the thing. The clouds that were here are definitely moving to the south, and considering this is a northeasterly launch, that's a fantastic thing. There are now clear skies over the launch pad. I can see the setting sun up in the west there. So fingers crossed that if the winds calm down, the skies now are absolutely spectacular.
Fingers crossed. And if you're wondering about the ramifications of this T0 change on the potential jellyfish effect, still good. We're still good. We don't want it to slip much more, if at all, but still in jellyfish territory. Is that fair to say, Sawyer?
Extremely fair to say, yes. It's usually about 10 to 15 minutes after sunset is the peak jellyfish time. And with sunset at 7:44, we are right at that 19-minute mark. So we should have some spectacular skies, and that should mean some great views, especially along the entire eastern coast, essentially, of the United States. So if you're anywhere along that east coast area, or anywhere in Florida for that matter, you should get quite a view.
And
I really hope it does work out. Sorry, Adrian, go ahead.
ULA has confirmed that cloud cover is now acceptable and they just continue to wait on winds. Just go ahead.
Come on, winds. I mean, I hope the jellyfish timing for this one works out. Anything that we can do to get, regular people interested, aware of, and excited about spaceflight is a good thing. And maybe a lot of people today are seeing various news headlines of various types involving the space program and rockets. So, it would be a nice little treat if we get a jellyfish launch over the entire East Coast tonight. That would be kind of poetic, would it not?
Oh,
Jack,
yes, it would. I didn't want to make sure I talked over anybody. Yes, no, I mean, it's spectacular. And I was just talking to some people the other day, and they did, from New York City area, and they didn't even realize that they could see the launches, the northeastern ones, just by stepping outside at night. So it's one of those spread the word with people that, hey, if this goes and you step outside, you can probably see a rocket from your backyard, even if you are in the Carolinas, in Virginia, Maryland, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, up that way.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of people. And obviously the people I meet have there's a bias to us. There's a certain type of people given what I do and the type of people that I meet when I'm out and about. That said, I don't think I've ever met anybody in my life that wouldn't want to go out, look up at the night sky and see something amazing. So it's kind of thing where it's like, tell your family, tell your friends, because, hey, it might actually look pretty cool tonight if it gets off the ground at the appointed T0 at 8:03 local. In fact, we have a statement. I get question statement from Jim Day here saying, Jack may remember the pics from Virginia I caught of the second stage. So yes, go out and look up. And I don't think we've said this yet, as much as we've talked about the jellyfish. If you do go outside, and if you do see it, please tag us on social media, whatever social media you're on. We're on all of them. We would love to see what you guys are able to see out and about wherever you are. That would be really cool. So thank you to Jim for sending those my way previously. And please, if you see something tonight, you can see our socials in the top right there. Tag us. Tag me. Tag Sawyer. Tag Max. Tag whoever. Tag at NASASpaceflight. And because we want to see it, we're obviously rocket nerds. We're all here because we like rockets. So if you see something cool in the night sky tonight, send it our way. That would be neat.
You mentioned
What?
Max. It's right now here at the press viewing area. It is D-Wise and myself. Do you know where Max is?
I have an inkling where Max is. Are we supposed to talk about it? I don't know what we're supposed to talk about or not. I don't want to leak anything.
Take a look at the back panel and you'll see.
I don't want to be Chris B. Oh, I know. I just don't know if I should leak it.
Yes, you should.
Oh, well, Max is going to be shooting this launch from an aircraft, right?
Exactly, yes. So he will be flying out from Titusville and going up in a plane from Evolution Airways, who offered him a chance to go up and shoot this one from the air. So shout out to them. Apparently they also love watching NSF. So stay tuned after the launch. Max, I know, is going to work on some quick turnaround photos, and there are definitely going to be ones, if this thing launches with skies like this, that will be metal print worthy, and I would hang on my wall.
Heck yeah! I mean, with the way that the solids make an actual defined plume, and with the way that this lighting is really hopefully working out, Max should be getting some goods. And definitely thanks to Evolution Airways for that. We're always trying to bring you guys cool views and cool shots of rockets. So we do what we can here, and thanks to the entire team. Max getting in a plane, D out there with the tracking rig, Sawyer, you out there hiding from the wind in your car. Where's Julia? Do we know where Julia is for tonight's launch?
Julia is somewhere off-site from here as well. I know we'll hopefully get some awesome stuff from her. And again, that is not a sponsored segment. We are not sponsored by them in any way. It's just they're really cool offering Max to do that. So Max wanted to make sure we give them a shout out.
Absolutely. L minus 33 minutes. Clock is ticking down, hopefully for real this time. Currently targeting 8:03 p.m. Eastern. We've seen some slips. It's thanks to the wind. You can see, just from this camera view, it's windy out there. But hopefully with some more time in the window, if this T0 doesn't work out, another one will. Flippers, 79, Flip Diaz. What's up, Flip? Thanks for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. And I have no idea how to pronounce this name, but thank you for the RD180 appreciation. And Shazbert Toddbot, thank you for the super chat. They say, watching from Louisiana, let's go. Go? Goo? I don't know.
It's a Louisiana thing, like
Yeah.
for LSU, it's Go Tigers, Geaux. It's a very Louisiana thing.
Gooks. Got it.
Yeah, if you already were making enemies of East Coast bagel lovers, you've now just made enemies of everyone in Louisiana.
We will start to mark off like states that Jack has enemies with.
I mean, it's a lot, to be fair. Look at that sunset. Absolutely gorgeous. Would you just look
Very
at it?
pink.
I am looking at it with my own eyes. It is beautiful colors here. And again, the fact that the skies have cleared up so much, we now know that the cumulus cloud rule is no longer a factor. And as you see from this view, even you can see some of the clear skies. I mean, it is a beautiful night for a launch, minus the winds.
It really is. I really hope the winds calm down. Please, winds, calm down. Everybody
We will
think
see.
unwindy thoughts.
Unwindy thoughts.
Think unwindy thoughts. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that sunset.
Ooh. That's very, very pretty.
Isn't
Eric
nice?
Theocopi says the plural of Atlas is either Atlases or Atlantes, according to Google. Yeah, but Google also tells you to put glue on pizza, so I don't know.
Atlantis is the KSC Visitor Center.
Yeah, also yes.
It's a long topic. We have to really debate this out.
Amiga clone, this is one, I feel this is like a, if we had Tim on the stream question. Besides some Russian rocket engines, have any other country made a rocket engine with multiple nozzles? If I'm not mistaken, China has.
Yes, correct.
And if I'm not mistaken, has the U.S. as well? But we don't currently, but we have in the past. I'm so not an empirical font of knowledge on different rocket engine models.
I know China has one with 2 nozzles and I think 4 veneer engines that are fed from the same chamber.
Nice.
So,
Always a fan of different designs. Adrian, I met someone here in Starbase from China yesterday who said they got to see a Long March 5. Long March 5.
ah, that's cool.
I was like, I'm so jealous.
Long March
Which is-
5.
Which is silly because we're standing in Starbase. I'm like, I'm jealous.
I mean, honestly, going to Wenchang and like watching a Long March 5 from there sounds pretty cool.
It would be really cool to see Long March 5. Waco Jones, thank you for the $10 super chat. They say, someone please appease the wind gods. Yes, somebody please. Also, Ryan,
Yes,
our back
please.
channel, the Titan II booster engine was a 2-nozzle engine. Thank you, Ryan. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying please for the wins because again the night right now is spectacular. The time is perfect. Oh, if those winds will die down just enough for this T0, that would make me a very happy person. I'm sure a lot of people watching too.
Certainly me, and certainly everybody watching. Fingers crossed. And of course, we're keeping our eyes open for any updates from ULA. Adrian, have you seen the little typing animation lately?
They have not. I've not seen the typing animation. I can confirm there's right now no typing going on. They are
All right.
not chatty.
All right, got it. Thank you. Really beautiful lighting right now. Oh man, imagine if launch was in 4 minutes. Ugh. That previous T0 of 740 would have been really nice. Hopefully the current T0 of 803 holds. Hopefully.
I mean, I
Hopefully.
just want to hear that absolutely gorgeous mission launch poll. That's what I want.
I do love the go no go polls. It's one of the things about Falcon. As much as we love Falcon 9, it's just like, come on. The go no go poll is just the best. It's so
That is
iconic.
my second favorite, the second most popular sound I'm looking forward to today. The most popular, of course, being the ignition of the RD-180 and the 5 gem SRMs.
Right, that scream. Atlas is a beautiful sounding rocket. It really is. Speaking of sound, we have a question here from a space enthusiast asking, since Jack wanted better written questions, shall we receive a squeal from the VAB perchance? Okay, first off, I didn't say I wanted better written questions. Chat, you are coming up with some good questions. Keep them coming, please. That is a misrepresentation. But Sawyer, VAB squeal?
Hey, you're right. It is a rocket enthusiast with a terrible username, but great job at asking questions to astronauts. I mean, it's typically something that we hear with the resonance from the Merlin 1D engines from Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. I'm not entirely sure if we will hear a VAB squeal. Probably not, but then again, I'm also not currently near the VAB for this, so I'm not entirely sure. But you will not be able to hear that, but I highly recommend you hear the response in the first interview since their landing from the Fram 2 crew after orbiting the poles, which Ryan, Caton, Dpod Dolphin Pro Productions, space enthusiast, weather person just did recently, and we just posted last night. I highly recommend watching it.
I think also sometimes going as somebody.
Yeah, but be sure to check out that interview with the Framonauts. That was really cool that Ryan was able to do that, and really cool that they sat down with him. We have microphones at the press site, right?
Yes, we do.
So if the VAB does squeal, in theory, in principle, we would be able to hear audio of it.
Yes, we would. I'm trying to recall from past Atlas launches. There's, again, in case you're unaware, it has been a little while since we've had an Atlas launch from Pad 41, or at all, really. So I'm trying to recall, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
I feel like I could be misremembering. I'm by no means the Cape expert, but I feel like Falcon 9. I feel like the VAB squeal is sort of a Falcon 9 exclusive thing. Maybe even a 39A thing. I'm not sure though.
40 primarily. You can hear it ever so faintly sometimes from 39A, but just based off of the direction, yes, it's usually the Merlin 1D engines, either from Slick 40, Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, as well as during the landing burn if they're coming back to LZs 1 and or 2.
Got it. I remembered it was. I seem to remember it was one of the two SpaceX pads on the Cape that was, more prominent. So Slick 40 mostly. This is 41, but it's also a very different rocket. So I'm curious. That's a really good question. I wonder if we'll get the squeal. If you don't know what we're talking about, for predominantly, as we were saying, Falcon 9 launches out of the Cape, the doors. It's the doors, right, Sawyer? I think it's the doors.
It's
on
the paneling. I believe it's the paneling on them that rattles. Again, the frequency at which the Merlin engines resonate matches those with the paneling on the side of the VAB, and that's what causes the VAB squeal. So yeah, it's very possible that it might not happen because of the resonance of the RD-180s. We'll have to see if they end up doing that as well with the BE-4s as we get more launches of Vulcan, and we'll even have to see if we get them from New Glenn.
Yeah, heck yeah. More rockets, more better. More squeal, more better. But yeah, the sound itself, if you've never heard it, is a really otherworldly, a really surreal sort of shrieking. It just sounds like the VAB. Just shrieking. Mickey in chat wants me to simulate it, and I'm going to spare you all that.
Just listen to Jack's launch of Falcon from Vandenberg recently. That kind of sound.
No, it's very different than that. I don't know what you're talking about. Never happened. Let's see. More questions, and keep them coming, y'all. Todd Johnson is asking, when does Kuiper run out of time for launching 50% of their satellites? Is that just to get some kind of FAA rule done, or FCC to get some money from the government? It's about spectrum allocation, right? They have to get their satellites launched before, what is it, 2029 to be able to use the spectrum they've been allocated. Adrian, I'm looking at you.
I have the numbers if you need.
Yes, I'm sorry. There was just a ULA update as you were. Sorry if you wanna.
You didn't tell us they were typing.
Sorry. There's the ULA update. Weather conditions for the local Cape Canaveral area remain unfavorable for launch at this time. The launch team is postured to resume the countdown for liftoff as soon as 8:03 p.m. if weather improves.
All right, so still looking at 8:03, still looking at the weather.
Yeah, it's like yes, it's 8:03, but right now,
Yeah, but we know that it hasn't changed yet. But we know that it's still not good. But we know it hasn't changed yet. That's good. Sawyer, hit us with some numberage.
Yeah, so as mentioned, the plan is over 3,200 satellites. I believe it's 3,232 for the total constellation. They have until the end of July 2029 to get all of those up and operational. However, per the FCC license, the Federal Communications Commission, they have to have half of those launched and operated by July 30th of next year. So a little over a year and a quarter to get that done. If it is not met, it's not exactly clear what the FCC will do, if they'll grant an extension or not, but that could mean that the constellation is cut short with however many satellites they have already launched by July 30th, 2026.
There you have it. I mean, there's only a limited amount of electromagnetic spectrum. So if you get approval for a block of it, but then don't use it, it's kind of like a use it or lose it kind of thing.
they're typing.
Oh, they're typing.
Yeah, they just started typing and they stopped again.
Okay, thank you for letting us know, Adrian.
You wanted an update.
I did. Let's see. More questions. Dan Elgin wants to know if they should set up their camera in Germany. We don't know exactly when the second burn and passivation will happen, I don't think. Adrian, are you going to go outside, like personally?
No, it's not. It's not going high enough. It's basically turning around somewhere between France and Spain. It's not like if you're maybe like very, very far south in Germany and like West Germany, you could see it. But I'm all the way up almost in northern Germany. There's no way. So I'm not even bothering.
Does Germany have southerners like America has northerners and southerners?
Yes.
I have so many questions for you after stream.
Yeah, we can go there. But yes, there's definitely cultural differences between southern Germans and northern Germans. Yes.
Neat. Mr. Gamer IO, thank you for the support. The $5 super there. They say, gift the cheesecake gods to tell the wind gods to calm down. Love that. Gav O'Toole, thank you for the support. They say, are we allowed to say pointy end up, flamey end down? On this chat, we all love Tim. I would say that's accurate. Yeah, of course you're allowed to say pointy end up, flamey end down. I think you have to pay Tim too. I think you have to pay Tim a royalty every time you say it, though.
Yeah.
It's like $5.99.
Wow.
I love you, Tim. Ethereal Swordsman, thank you for the $5 tip. They say, beep, beep, I'm a sheep. I'm not
As this movie recognized.
What?
Is it just?
It's a reference to an online series called ASDF movie, ASDF movie. It's.
Oh.
Don't worry.
Completely missed it.
It's very good.
And Plutonium239, thank you for the super chat. They say, when will Blue Origin launch? New Glenn, the second time. Sawyer, I'm looking at you.
When will New Glenn launch a second time? They're expecting, I believe, this spring at some point. So hopefully soon. We'll see if that holds true. But everything is pointing that direction with the clearance and everything from the landing investigation after the first flight.
And we have a new T0.
Oh, what's the new T0, Adrian?
Yep.
0022 UTC, 8:22 p.m. Eastern.
All right, Sawyer, I'm immediately going to the jellyfish question. Are we starting to exit jellyfish territory at that point?
We are indeed starting to exit the jellyfish territory, yes, with sunset at 7:44. Again, it's usually about 10 to 20 minutes after is peak time. As we get towards 40 minutes after, we're not looking great for it. This is turning into a regular night launch as opposed to a jellyfish launch, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not the best thing.
Yeah,
we'll have to see. No,
Well,
I think both of us were in the same boat there of making sure Jack's okay while we wait for this. But yeah, the sun is setting. It is absolutely spectacular. It's a shame that the winds aren't quite cooperating, but it is still very gusty out here.
Absolutely. It's do you have like I mean I always like to ask the question like do you have a personal feeling it's improving or not improving? Like for you, does the wind in any way, shape, or form right now improve, or is it just the same?
It still looks and feels exactly the same as it did when we got here. I mean, maybe a touch calmer, but it's not by much if it is. It's very gusty, very breezy, and I'm just noticing now that Dee brought donuts and I didn't get one, so boo.
Oh,
Wait, how did you notice if you didn't get one?
Because Dee just opened a box of donuts to someone who's next to me, and I think this is the last one.
No. Sorry, Sawyer.
they are
It's
also
okay.
back
If the wind clears, then I'll be happier at least.
Fair.
they are also now back in cumulus cloud rule as well.
Oh, dang. So the cumulus cloud wind rule had cleared, but now it's coming back. Dang.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes with weather and rocket launches, you know. At least they're still trying to thread the needle and haven't thrown in the towel yet.
That was a lot of sayings in one sentence.
Well, you know what they say, at the end of the day, it is what it is, but you can't teach an old dog to learn new tricks as long as the... I ran out of stuff.
Oh, so you aren't learning any new tricks, Jack. Got it.
Yeah, Sawyer, you're not that much younger than me, man.
I know. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, well, you did it to yourself. Oh, here's a fun question. Cameron Whiteman is asking, what is the tower between the lightning towers, not the crew one? I assume they're talking about that skinny vertical tower there. Do we know what that is, Sawyer? Party tower?
It looks honestly like a power line. I'm not entirely sure though. Just
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
trying to
an
see where it is in
optical-
relation to optical illusion. Yeah.
It's a bit an optical illusion. I think it's way closer to the camera.
I mean, I've
Then-
seen similar tower. There's a similar tower at Slick 3, ULA's pad here on the west coast. I do think it's well, I don't know. I don't know what that is. That's a good question. I do wonder, you know, telephoto lens foreshortening, is that actually at Slick 41 or is it elsewhere?
Trying to look with the Mark 1 eyeballs and see. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, John in chat saying it's behind the pad a lot. East Coast Savior said it's like a mile off. So there you go. Yeah, maybe it's a comms tower, Alex saying in the back channel. Either way, those 4 towers are lightning towers. And that's why we always get questions about the towers. The 5th tower, in this case, the confounding variable.
Yes, but it's not the towers themselves that deal with the lightning. It is actually the catenary wires that are in them. And in fact, you can sometimes
see the wires. You can see the wires in this shot.
Yes, it kind of makes a box that Atlas flies directly through, which is really cool. But yeah, so if of course tries to strike the tallest thing, which in that case would be the towers, the wires then move it away from the rocket and ground it so that it doesn't actually strike the vehicle itself. So that's why the 4 towers are there. And don't forget, if you love puns and 4 towers, we have a shirt at shop.nasaspaceflight.com about the 4 towers.
I'm looking for it right now. Yes, go ahead. Jack,
What?
you take over. I'm looking for the shirt. Wait, this.
Oh yeah, please look for the shirt. Chimera with a $2 super chat. Amazon late delivery again. Boo. Try harder with your jokes.
No, I'm giving that a pun token. Come on, that was good.
All right. I mean, you are the arbiter of pun tokens, so I will defer to your judgment. Donna also becoming a Pad Rat member. Thank you so much, Donna, for the support. Dad Joke Jr. asking, is the whole thing computer? Yes. Duh. Why'd you even have to ask?
There's also no meat bag, if that's the other question, too. There are no humans on board this one.
Mike Posh asking, how windy is too windy? Do we know specifically like what the wind limits for Atlas or this configuration of Atlas are?
This is such a deep rabbit hole I would love to start with, because sometimes it's not even only the wind force, it also is the difference in wind shear. For example, suddenly changing winds on different altitudes, for example, like one direction go west and above that suddenly go east, can be much worse than just wind, because you
Right.
suddenly have like heavy wind direction changes and stuff like that. So it's not as simple as saying like, oh, it needs to be below 25 on all corridors. There's many different factors about what you need to consider that cannot happen to not affect your rocket launch.
Yeah, just to reiterate, wind shear is the potential for different layers of wind to be moving different directions and different speeds as the rocket ascends. And, it's a tall, spindly, building-sized thing hurtling through the air. And if it is in air that's going 100 miles an hour one way and then suddenly encounters a layer of air going 100 miles an hour the other way, that's not good for rockets. In fact, arguably both of the space shuttle's failures can be at least partially attributed to extremely high amounts of wind shear on both of those launches. Sawyer, feel free to correct me if I'm way out of bounds there, but it's true. Wind shear is a big deal.
You are correct. Yes, there are vehicles in the past, including a certain shuttle mission, that have been heavily impacted by wind shear that we've recently covered on Shuttle Sundays. But it is super important to check the ground level winds as well as those upper level winds, as they're sometimes referred to. And yes, with the clouds, you may think, well, it's a cloud. What's the big deal? Well, the issue is that you can actually create your own lightning as you go through specific types of clouds. So that is one of the concerns if you're going that fast. And we've seen that happen with rockets before. This was a rule as well for, I hate to mention it, but Ares 1X in particular. So that is why we also have to worry about the cumulus cloud rule.
There you go. I so hope the weather cooperates. 30 minutes to go. Waiting for more updates from ULA. Any typing lately, Adrian?
Not really.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
Barkley,
Sorry.
thanks for becoming a Capcom member. As a reminder, you get Discord access at Capcom level and above. So pop into Discord and say hey. Also, with that Discord access, you get pre-show and post-shows to the Flame Trench, plus a whole bunch of other cool stuff. I mean, the Discord itself rules. So thank you so much for the Capcom level membership. Rankley gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Rankley. Always see your name pop up. And Nick Smith with a super chat saying, if they scrub the launch, do they recover the fuel or is it dumped off? Also, is the procedure different depending on the rocket? It is different depending on the rocket. Also, yeah, they recover the fuel.
$30 minutes to go.
Fingers crossed. Mike LeBlanc is asking, what is the maximum number of solids an Atlas can carry? It's 5, right?
It's the 5.
So we're looking at the most powerful configuration of Atlas. Is that right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, of the 5-meter fairing one, yes, it is the 551. The 4-meter fairing one was the 451, which again was same thing, but with the smaller fairing. So when we get Vulcan, as that flies more, there is a 6 solid rocket motor configuration for that. So that will be cool.
There's typing.
Oh, there's typing. So exciting.
Sorry. At this point, I have to hype it up a bit.
No, I'm honestly, I'm into it. Like we talked about it. We talked about why we appreciate it. Like I am here for the typing updates. Like to know that we are in the process of being about to be getting an update is good to know.
We are approaching a potential update.
All right, excellent. KK14M is asking, do we believe they will still launch with it being so windy? There's a chance.
There's always a chance. I have seen launches where the weather forecast is 20% go, 40% go, and it is launched. I've also seen ones where the weather is 80 or 90% go, and it doesn't. So anything is possible. If it's as long as the chance isn't 0, there is a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yes, I am. Even though this is a different rocket.
They
I love
stopped typing.
I love that Blue Origin just like put that stake in the ground because it's such a good line. If you haven't seen Dumb and Dumber, you probably should. Adrian,
Yes.
hi.
What? Why? What?
Have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
Let me see if that movie has a different name in Germany.
Dumm und
Nope.
Dummer.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly it. But no, I've not.
All right, I won't.
Never even heard about it.
Oh my god, I'm excited for you to watch it. It's a great movie. Anyways,
Do you have to like sometimes remind yourself of that mantra?
yes, every time, literally every time I have. It's like I need a little sign on my monitor that just says "Be nice to Adrian."
Like you really want to be mean to me about having not having seen it, but like, no, I'm so happy for you.
I am happy for you. I envy anybody that hasn't seen such a great movie. We have a weather update.
I mean, oh,
Do you know what it is?
no, there's, I don't, I think it's a Kevin Michael Reed weather. Oh, okay.
Okay, there's about to be. We're gonna go to a weather update here shortly if it's still happening. Stand by.
And yeah, but we'll see what exactly happens here. They have stopped typing. I can
Stop
give you
typing.
that up. There's no more typing.
I mean, you have to stop typing before you hit enter. So, or
We
click
need a
send.
picture-in-picture of just where the typing is to see if they are typing or not.
I would love like a top-down camera on the keyboard, just so we can see the hands
like
typing.
Like when you have like speedrunners on
Yes.
Twitch, like with their keyboard cam. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on board. We're standing by to see what that weather update was. In the meantime, Ethereal Swordsman, thank you for the $10 tip. They like ULA launches. They say the most entertaining thing about ULA launches, in my opinion, is just how much of the way to the orbit the first stage burns. Both Vulcan and Atlas have such long burns that do so much of the work, especially Atlas, especially as the high booster count versions get off the ground, like their ICBMs. It is pretty neat. I mean, what is the first stage burn on today's launch? Like 4-something minutes? It's quite a long time.
Yeah, I believe that's.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sawyer.
I was gonna say, I believe that one's about 4.5 minutes. I'll get the exact time in a second. But
4 minutes 23.
What's craziest for me though is that you get the upper stage ignition at 4 minutes 39 seconds, and that burns until T plus 1814. That is a nearly 14-minute burn of the second stage.
Yeah, I mean, the Hydrolox engines on Centaur are great engines. They're insanely efficient, but compared to what you get from a Keralox engine, it's lower thrust? I don't want to misrepresent the venerable RL10 or Centaur. They're amazing upper stages, extremely efficient, but you just see they take a 14-minute burn. Although we did say earlier in the stream that this is Atlas's heaviest ever payload. Am I remembering that correctly?
That's correct.
You are.
So that also surely factors into it. But I think Centaur is kind of notorious among space fans for burning quite a long time.
And also jump scaring everybody because it looks like, oh, it didn't ignite. Oh, yeah, it ignited. You just can't see it.
Yeah, it turns out Hydrolox plumes can be pretty tricky to see.
Oh, Jack. So, Jack, you love that we hang out here together, right?
Buddy, I would not rather be doing anything else at Wednesday at around 7 p.m. Central Time besides hanging out with you and Sawyer and looking at rockets and talking about rockets.
So you're excited to do this even longer?
Oh, yeah.
Because they just extended it by another 20 minutes. We are back at 40 minutes. Does this feel like a bit like New Glenn Flight 1 to you?
I just enjoy the fact that you called this, 2 hours ago?
Yeah, it's like exactly. I'm like, there's a potential to rewind, and like all of these scrubs have like my voice playing in the background of exactly calling the scenario.
Right. Well, that's the way that it goes. My immediate question or thinking upon seeing this updated T0 of what is it, 8:39 Eastern time? They've been going 20 minutes at a time here, right? So I wonder if this is their second to last possible attempt. The last one being 20 minutes after this.
Yep.
At 59 Eastern.
That
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
agree.
So, I mean, I'm guessing here, but looking at the tea leaves, it seems like this might be the second to last possible attempt here.
It doesn't look like they are starting to pack their bags yet and everything in the mission
Right.
control, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to keep trying until they can't anymore, which is commendable for sure. Rankley, with a $5 super chat, thanks, buddy. They say, the memories. It seems like yesterday watching Booster 4 testing and listening to Jack dunk on Adrian's lack of movie knowledge.
Yeah, dunk, because it was very hostile.
Me? Hostile? What? Never. Ever. Shadowgunner66, thank you for the support. They say, just tuning in, what configuration is this Atlas? Sawyer.
551. So that means you have the 5-meter fairing on top. You have 5 of the solid rocket motors mounted on the side and a single engine on the upper stage, which is the Centaur upper stage.
Good deal. Thank you, Sawyer. And thank you for the super chat. Nathan, thank you as well. They say the fitness gram pacer test. What? Okay, cool. Is that they trying to put an ad in the... What the heck?
It's a meme. It's related to a test that was given in schools way back when, and it's now a meme.
I'm so old that I completely don't get it, but that's the harsh worries of aging. Chris Ramsey, thank you for the support. Also, thank you to the unpronounceable name for the support, and Homemade Documentaries. Thank you for the support. They say ULA is just stretching things out for us. The longer we're here, the longer where we all live in a world where Atlas rockets are flying. It's a perk. Yeah, it's a perk. It's a feature.
Yeah,
not a bug.
that it reminds me of NRL 44. That was definitely a perk. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Was
everybody
that
knows
the-
44.
Was that the East Coast Delta that scrubbed a million times?
Delayed 7 months and 7 tries. Yeah.
There was a
Oof.
Falcon 9 booster core that landed 3 times while that Delta was on the pad. That's still my favorite fact.
Yeah, I think the worst I had was five attempts for a Delta IV Heavy on the West Coast, but 7, that's rough.
I mean, to be fair,
At
it's a
least we
Delta
could
4
see it
Heavy.
when it
Like
went.
you, I mean, honestly, it's a Delta 4. Oh wow!
What, Adrian? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Thanks.
Wow, that was harsh. No, it's a Delta 4 Heavy, so you kind of know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, that's fair. That's kind of like how that rocket always was, unfortunately. More questions. 36 minutes to go, hopefully, weather permitting. Don't forget, if you have any questions, tag at NASASpaceflight, and we'll see your questions pop up in our queue. We gotta do this one. Quentin is asking, when is Starship Flight 9 supposed to be? Adrian, you're writing Starbase Update this week, aren't you?
Yes.
When is Flight 9 supposed to be?
I feel like at this point, it's like how
I am going to make that sound the text tone for when you text me.
cool. I'm glad. I feel like at this point we are talking about net May with the progress on certain components without going too deep in it. I think we are talking like roughly early to mid May.
Yeah, that makes sense. But we're not here for Starship, we're here for Atlas tonight. Atlas 551, carrying 27 Kuiper satellites, sitting, fueled, and ready at Slick 41. But the weather is not happy. Please, weather, get better. Sincerely, everybody.
Yeah, please launch signed Europeans.
love it.
It's 2 a.m.
Yeah, I feel you, buddy. Hang in there. Depod Dolphin Productions is asking, what do they use to light the engines? Is it flint and steel? Yeah, it's flint and steel.
Chicken jockey.
Is it T-Tab? What do they use to light the RD-180?
I'm sorry, I'm just too deep in Minecraft movie references that were just dropped, so I need a moment.
Wait, were there Minecraft movie references? I should get them.
So it like screaming certain objects from the games is kind of a movie meme. So
the flint and steel,
and that's why I said chicken jockey, and people in chat are saying the nether. So yeah, it's a thing.
Wow. Adrian, you missed it. We actually I probably shouldn't.
Nope.
You know what you missed. You know what you missed.
Nope, you shouldn't.
Nathan, thank you for the super chat. They say a bunch of coworkers and I are watching the launch in the break room. We wanted to hear a shout out. Lol, worth it. Nathan and coworkers, shout out. Hopefully this thing gets in the air in 33 minutes and change. Steve Park is asking, was it Atlas that burned through the solid nozzle, Sawyer?
I believe we're talking about the Vulcan launch from earlier, the CERT-2 mission, where you had the issue with the nozzle that kind of fell off with the burn through the observation, as ULA called it during that flight. Again, just recently they announced that they have figured out what the issue was. They put out a whole video even explaining it, and that they are going to go ahead for their next flight coming up after this Atlas launch, and that the Space Force is happy with what they've seen, so they'll start flying Space Force payloads.
Can't wait for more Vulcan and more New Glenn, for that matter. I always have to mentally tell myself to not say Blue Glenn.
I'm disappointed.
In me?
I mean, you also call it Glenny a lot, so
It is. I mean, it's Glenny. It's Blue Glenny.
I still can't believe you recorded videos with like a shirt that says Glenny.
That's my favorite NSF shirt that I currently own.
In a Starbase update, too.
What's that? I should wear it again this week? Okay. Tune in to this week's Starbase update.
Jeez.
Do You Like Jazz is asking, is Atlas V the most rocket of all rockets? Sawyer, I'll let you take this delightfully ambiguous question first.
It is a rocket.
Adrian, a rebuttal.
I don't think so. I would disagree. I think, for me, a rocket is triple. Like, for me, most rocket of all rockets is a triple core rocket. I feel like that's more rocketry for my rocket. And I think, classic rocket for me is also orange. So I think, I think Delta IV Heavy is the most rocket of all rockets.
That was the most metal of all rockets, though. That was the one that lit itself on fire.
But I feel like also it's a very rocket. Like, it's a very rocket-shaped rocket.
But if you have a kid, like a 5-year-old, and you're like, draw a rocket, they're not going to draw a Delta Heavy unless they're you.
No, I think they would. I think that's a very classic rocket shape.
I think they're going to draw like a stick, like a single stick. To me, the most rockety rocket is a Saturn V.
I think a most rocket is like a triple core generic rocket.
See, I could see like an Atlas V with the 400-meter fairing maybe being something that a kid would draw. That would be definitely rocket. But I don't know about the 5-meter fairing.
You can't say triple core generic rocket. There's only 2 companies that have had triple core rockets.
There's more than 2 companies having triple core rockets.
2 American companies that kids would actually know about.
Fair. Yeah, fair. Thank you, Sawyer.
There's more than American kids on this planet.
No, also fair. All right. We can stop arguing about the most rocket of rockets. The beauty of a rocket is in the eye of the beholder.
Okay, just to be clear, I see this in the back channel. Just to be clear, it's not Ares 1. It's never Ares 1.
Oh, it might
not
be Ares 1.
It might be
Ares 1.
No, it's not.
It's very rockety, though.
It's not.
It's way too sticky and skinny. No.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we need to do some science here. We need to test the theory.
Yeah, launch another Ares 1. Sure, go ahead. Oh, wait.
Yeah, show me. How did that stage separation go for you?
Okay, you know what? It wasn't that wasn't part of the. It was a dummy upper. It was a dummy upper stage. Okay, we can't. Come on, Ares 1's good.
You keep telling yourself that.
Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Fish VT is asking, what are the flames on the bottom left of the screen? I am not able to talk about what this is.
So that's a flare stack.
Yeah, so go ahead. I can't say those words on stream. Just like legally, I'm not allowed. So I'll let you take that one, Adrian.
It's a flare stack. That burns off like, in this case probably hydrogen. Basically. And for example, in methane flare stacks, that can also ignite giant methane clouds.
Or seem to ignite them.
I'll seem to ignite them.
If that were methane.
Oh my God! Come on!
Hey,
We're gonna.
Vulcan. There are methane ones for Vulcan, although Atlas V does not use it. That is probably for the hydrogen for the Centaur upper stage. Vulcan does use methane, or at least liquid natural gas, or liquefied natural gas, which is essentially methane.
Indeed. Eva is asking, if the weather gets too bad, will they cancel or just keep making the wait longer and longer? Well, they only have a 2-hour window. So they can only go up until 9 p.m. Eastern. And as we were talking about a little while ago, we also have been seeing them. They've been slipping it 20 minutes per sort of delay. So it seems like if this T0 doesn't work out, they'll have one more in the window if that pattern holds. The pattern could not hold, but there you go. Let's see. 27 minutes. And counting. Well, and holding, but counting.
L- and counting, T- and holding.
Oh, God. The ULA clocks, man. Thank you, Sawyer.
You're welcome.
But
yeah, there's the two clocks for those who don't know. The L- clock, which you see on your screen, is the time until launch. That has no pauses, no stops. That is going until the current T0. Whereas ULA, in their countdown, they use a T- clock, which has built-in holds. So that way, if something comes up with the rocket, or if they're running a little behind schedule, they can use that to kind of catch up. Or if, say, in the current hold, which is at T- 4 minutes and holding, if the weather is no-go, then they can continue to hold until hopefully the weather clears before preferably the end of the window.
Hopefully the weather clears, because then we'll get a launch. And then we'll get to see Atlas lift off the pad, and we'll get some really sweet imagery of it. But if you want sweet imagery of an Atlas, you know what? You don't have to wait, because we have metal prints in the shop. That's right. There's a print from me on the right. Fun fact, that's my favorite shot I've ever taken of anything ever. We have Sawyer, is that a U print on the left? No. I want to go screw this one. Let's talk about Sawyer.
No, that's yours, Jack. That's a great shot. Like you said, it's one of the best ones taken.
Nobody wants that. Sawyer, is that one yours on the left? Or in the middle now?
The middle is mine.
Nice. Yeah. So yes, the metal prints exist. They rule. We have them for all types of rockets and all types of launches. And, a cut of the sale, a portion of the sale goes to the photographer that made that image. So you're not only supporting NSF, but you're also supporting the photographer who took the image, and you're getting something in return, which is a really cool thing too. You get something you can put on your wall, which really as a photographer is like the highest possible praise anybody could possibly give somebody who makes things, by putting it on their wall. This really honestly means a lot to us. Whoa, is that one Max?
Whoa. I believe that's a Max print.
That is awesome. So hard to get a good exposure between the solids and the Carolox engines. What a tricky shot. What a beautiful shot. Just the power of Atlas. Anyway.
And to not have your camera be destroyed by that power. That is, they let us very close to those cameras for the remotes.
Yeah, no kidding. That is one thing. ULA generally lets you put cameras pretty dang close compared to, say, SpaceX and Falcon 9 launches. It's kind of nice. But you run the risk of roasting a camera. But you know what? No risk, no reward. And if you want to help with those roasted cameras and the cost of replacing them, maybe check out a print. Anyway, there's that.
I mean, which photographer here hasn't roasted a camera yet?
I definitely have. Several,
know.
in fact. Sawyer, have you ever completely roasted a camera or lost one on a remote?
Roasted? No. Waterlogged? Yes.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, it turns out it rains a lot in Florida, and if there's a slight gap in your coverage on the camera, I managed to be able to eventually save the camera. The battery kind of swelled and was an issue, but yeah, rice helped.
John Cook, yes, you can see who the photographer is when you buy a print. It's listed there on the page for each print.
There's also a filter where you can sort by photographer, by rocket, or even by flight stage.
Nice. Thank you, Adrian.
No
Yeah,
problem.
Sawyer, I knew somebody once who left an R5 out for one of the SLS attempts when that crazy rainstorm hit, and it didn't go well
I
for them.
knew somebody once.
Wonder who that would be.
Yeah, their name it rhymed with Rack Dryer.
Dang, could be anybody.
Yeah.
Do they work with NSF at this point?
My lawyers have advised me to not answer that question.
Okay. Could be anybody in the team, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, here's one. I don't know the answer to this. Maybe either of you do. Why is it called Atlas? The visualist is asking. Do we know why it's called Atlas? Has the world on its shoulders? I mean, it started out as an ICBM, right?
Yeah, it started off as a missile and then was modified eventually to start with crew on it from the early days of the program. And then, yes, it continued to be upgraded from the regular Atlas. You've had other variations of Atlas, which not all have been super successful, but yeah, eventually we settled on the Atlas V, and I believe most of these end up going back to ancient Greek or Roman history, especially if I'm thinking the name of the planets as well. So it goes, I believe, as you pointed out, Atlas carrying the world on his shoulder.
So what you're saying is Atlas knows where it is because it knows where it isn't.
Oh my god.
Really, that gets an oh my god from you? Really? We can do Minecraft references all day long and you're not going to scoff, but I can't make the missile reference?
There's a Minecraft movie out right now. I give it a pass for the time being.
Hey, if there was a The Missile movie, I would watch it.
I mean, so would I, but yeah.
Remind me later to ask one of the various AIs to make a The Missile movie.
Oh, jeez.
Let's do more questions. Oh god, John Ulrich says, turn that frown upside down. Win shear equals win cheer.
No, wind shear is wind fear.
I do fear the shear.
Ooh, Adrian, short idea?
Fear the shear.
I mean,
It's like one of those, like when you go on a roller coaster at a theme park and they have like the scary looking t-shirts for it.
I got to a Kuiper launch and all I got was this shirt.
All I got was wind shear.
All I got was wind shear and clouds.
Oh man. Oh, Creative Bytes is asking, what are the most notable payloads that Atlas V has launched in the past?
Certain Mars
So
rover
does anyone have
combined.
any pet payloads that Atlas V has launched over the years? I mean, it's been a bunch.
I mean, we had what, Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. We
Bunch of Mars
had-
missions that launched Insight.
Yeah, like a bunch of Mars Science Laboratory.
Mars 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's-
you got MSL, you had so Curiosity, Perseverance, way back when Solar Dynamics Observatory was cool. It also did the LRO L-Cross mission.
Bunch of Landsats for our science friends out there.
The Maven Mars Orbiter as well, if you want to go into the whole Mars deal. MMS, which was a magnetospheric bunch of satellites, which I saw being built when I interned at Goddard, Sawyer Flex for the stream. It's launched Cygnus vehicles as well, even. And of course, my favorite, OSIRIS-REx, which was the one to touch the asteroid and bring back the sample from Bennu.
And of course, Starliner.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, good question though. Atlas is a extremely well used rocket.
Absolutely, and yeah, it's. I mean, it's quite a history. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
it
just.
goes way back. Was someone typing? Are they typing now or no?
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just continuing to admire the list. Forgot a couple of other ones. X-37B, first launching on those. New Horizons, the mission to Pluto, launched on an Atlas V. I mean, this thing is a beast. And again, we're talking the 4-meter fairings, the 5-meter fairings, the solid rocket motors without them, the very uneven single solid rocket motor launches. I really liked those. One thing I don't really like, though, is that they have now updated the T0 one
Yeah.
last time. And I say one last time because the pretty much 1 minute before the end of the window now.
I hate that I was right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, 8:59 p.m. Eastern Time is the new and final T0 for the night.
All right. Well, we'll see if the weather cooperates. But you know what? That's the way she goes. Let's do some thanking people. Atlas5 says, person whose name I can't pronounce, thank you. Stuart King, thank you for the kind words and the super chat there. Ethereal Swordsman, thank you. I'm not going to read that out, but you can all see it there. This is the update saying that we have the new T0 at 8:59, 1 minute before the end of the window. It says, that is very near the available launch window today. We continue to hope the weather situation will clear. Such a pity to have the rocket and ground systems all ready to go and just have some stupid winds and clouds blocking your way into space.
Yeah. It's like, it's. I bet it's like I would be frustrated because with that, because it's like it's the one thing you can't control.
Yeah,
Says you.
Imagine sitting in your car waiting for 2+ hours and hearing that it's just because of the light wind that you feel outside, which is actually probably a lot stronger the higher up that you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we talked about with the wind shear thing earlier, right? It's not just about ground level winds, unfortunately. I wish it were that easy. Rodrigo, thank you for becoming a launch director member. Once again, you have access to everything now, man. You have Capcom access into Discord because you're a launch director and you're above that. You have all the cool perks at the community page on our YouTube channel, all the sweet member perks. So enjoy that. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. We really can't do what we do without y'all's support. We have a huge team of people. We have 3 24/7 live streams. We put out a bunch of videos a week. And we've got just a large team and a large team of robots as well to keep fed with data and power. So, y'all, thank you for the support and becoming members, watching the stream, hitting the like button. It doesn't have to be a monetary thing, but we can't do this without all of you. So thank you, because we like doing this. Even when it slips.
Oh.
Even when it slips into the window several times. No. Even when it slips several times into the window, it's still fun because we're all hanging out. We're all hanging out.
I saw the direct message that you posted to one of our team members that involved the S word.
That's not.
Yeah.
We're not. I'm not acknowledging that. We're moving on.
You have said the S word in text before.
I don't know what that is.
It's your fault.
I've never seen that. I've never heard of that. There's no words on it. Anonymous, thank you for grabbing a print. They actually did. They listened to us and grabbed a print. They got a print from Adam, looks like. That's awesome. They say, I touched 6 of those engines. I'd thought of getting one of these printed, but you talked about them on the ULA launch. Neat.
So, chat, I have to, I cannot let this pass. Oh.
I did not.
Oh, I think we're getting
weather to clear is at the end of the window, so that's why the launch team, they've been in communication with the launch weather team that is on console right now, and they are obviously monitoring the situation very closely. But again, here is what we've been dealing with all night, really. We have this convergent band of showers, that north to south oriented band that's moving kind of the whole line is pushing a little bit to the south. Now we were hoping it would push farther off to the east, but notice it's progressed a little bit closer to the pad. But there's actually another way that we can clear this cumulus cloud roll, and that's if the tops of these showers get lower and the showers begin to dissipate. So the two ways, they could either push farther away from the pad, or they could weaken, where if the tops get low enough, that standoff distance actually gets smaller and smaller. So in other words, they can be farther away from the pad, or excuse me, they can get closer to the pad, and if the showers are weaker, then we don't have to be concerned about them. So those are the two ways that we could clear the cumulus cloud roll. We're also monitoring the winds as well, and as we take a live look at some of the winds we're seeing, notice we're still seeing winds in the upper 20s to low 30s miles per hour. These are gusts at the surface. The launch pad is right around here, so we're also monitoring winds up a few hundred feet as well. So again, the two things we need to clear that the launch weather team is going to be monitoring up until the wire here at our last T0 in the window, the cumulus cloud roll and the winds. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you for the weather update. Again, he's not actually saying back to us, but it's fun to pretend that he is.
Oh, he's totally.
Well, they're going to keep trying all the way up until the wire here.
So, yeah. After Jack jinxed it now as well.
I did not.
You did. It's gonna be an absolute interesting. I will put up chat messages here. But it's just 32 minutes. In theory, they could delay for another minute. I'm just saying that they're not technically at the end of the window. They still have another minute.
True. Has every delay so far tonight been 20 minutes? Has it been 20 minutes every time, or has there been one or two that has not been a 20-minute block of time? I don't actually.
I think the first one, when they put it from 7 to 7:39, right?
Yeah, you're right. But that was longer, not shorter than 20. So dang.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. 30 minutes, 32 minutes to go. Katie Porter, what's up? Thank you for the pun token.
Thank you, Katie.
David, yeah, thank you. David Vanilla.
I know who that is. I appreciate it. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you for becoming a PadRat member. And BG Anon, thank you for the super chat. They say, huge thank you to Timotheus for all his work on this mission. Neat. John is asking if there's an Ares 1 print. Adrian, is there an Ares 1 print in the store?
Oh, sadly, no.
You sound really genuinely sad about it.
Yeah, so I'm every single day I wake up and I'm like, I wish somebody submitted a photo where we could put an Ares 1 into the store.
We do need one. There needs to be one.
Yeah, sure. Upload it and I will totally consider it.
Consider it though. You didn't say you would.
Yeah.
You would put it on the store.
I'm considering it, moving it to my bin.
Oh, just like the last print I sent you to upload to the store.
No, it's probably more like Ares 1 and what happened with it. Also going to the bin.
Oh.
Okay, that was pretty good. Come on, that was pretty good.
I feel like I'm not really hitting the message here because I see people like being like having a bit of a like they feel sad for Ares 1. I'm like, I don't want that. Don't feel sad for it. Don't show weakness.
But it's a cool rocket. It's a cool rocket.
Everything I'm saying.
I don't.
Can you tell we're getting towards the end of the window here based on our conversations?
I'm looking at the question queue. Lethal Chicken is asking, how does this compare to Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy? Sorry, you want to jump on that one?
Adrian, if you could take this one, if you don't mind. I need to take a drink of water here real quick.
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that?
Oh my God. How does this compare to Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy?
It's very similar, honestly. Falcon 9, actually, the capabilities of Ares Atlas 5 are overall very in the same ballpark. It's a very similar rocket in terms of capabilities to Falcon 9, but also to Ariane 6 in terms of payload to Leo. Of course, depending on how many solid rocket boosters you attach. But overall, very, very similar ballpark.
Good deal. Creative Bytes TB. So many good questions from Creative Bytes tonight. They're asking, are your field team having to constantly calibrate the cameras to adjust for the changing light and conditions?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. D has been running out constantly to change the camera settings, especially as it went for sunset into night now, essentially. And that's the thing, especially with these changing launch times. It can be really tricky as you get closer to sunset, because even your camera settings for the launch itself, you have to change essentially by the minute. It's not like you can take a test shot and use those settings with how quickly everything changes.
Yeah, and Kevin has been updating auto track as well to reflect the various T0 changes. So yes, the answer is absolutely. Sunset and sunrise launches in particular are so challenging, the way you have to sort of ride the settings like that.
Mm-hmm.
More questions. Keep them coming. 28 minutes to go.
The good thing is these are really like the final 28 minutes. Like, something will happen in 28 minutes and 10 seconds from now.
Well, you say that, but
True.
I'm just gonna move on. Depot Dolphin Productions asking, did Rack Dryer almost miss the NASA bus? Yes. Same guy. Funnily enough, same guy.
Oh, the member video of that is amazing.
Nick B asking, are they planning on using New Glenn for Kuiper launches at any point? Sawyer?
Yes, they absolutely are. New Glenn has a bunch of flights on the book to carry these satellites for Kuiper, as well as the remaining Atlas V launches on here. Then it will go Vulcan, Blue Origin, New Glenn. Then you have ESA's Ariane 6 will be carrying some, and SpaceX's Falcon 9 will actually be carrying 3.
ESA? You mean ESA?
No, it's not ES.
Yes, NASA and ESA, exactly.
Yeah. I hope NASA in their VAB will be very happy that you said that.
By the way, there is no Jerdy or ASOG out tonight to catch a booster.
Jerdy? Oh, Lord.
Jerdy.
Just read the instructions and short
Yeah, no, I
talk.
got
Jerdy
it.
and
I got
ASOG.
it. Oh,
I'm-
wow.
It's by the way, just for information, the European Space Agency has made very clear that they are ESA and not ESA.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I only did that to get a rise out of you. I do apologize, but it was fun while it lasted. More questions.
Yay.
Eva's asking, what would happen if they were to cancel it? What would the people watching do? They try again. When is the next possible attempt, Sawyer? Is it tomorrow?
It would be tomorrow, yes, the 24-hour turnaround. What the people would do is continue to watch on Space Coast Live, our 24/7 live cameras here at KSC and the Space Coast.
Smooth as butter.
Yeah, but otherwise, the teams here would drain the fuel and just recycle and try again for the next attempt, which would be 24 hours. And again, the good news, bad news is that the concern for today is weather, not vehicle status.
Right. Well, we have 25 minutes and change for that weather to get better. Hopefully it does. The NSF team out in force. So once again, thank you for everyone liking the stream, telling your friends about us, and supporting us in whatever way you can. Space Pope, the Space Pope, with a $20 super chat, for example. Thank you so much. They say, now watch this Long March 5.
Yeah. Plane
Classic.
trench reference acknowledged.
Classic. FBWA32NX fan is asking, did ULA's pad see extensive modification for Vulcan launches? Sawyer, this is kind of an interesting pad in that they can use it for both Atlas and Vulcan right now, right?
Exactly, yes. By the way, fly-by-wire, great plane. But yes, they did indeed have to go through the modifications, as it was primarily just the hydrogen for the upper stage, as well as the kerosene that they use in the first stage. Although, again, worth noting that the RP-1, the kerosene, has been on the rocket since it rolled out to the pad yesterday. But yes, they had to add all of the methane wiring and tubing. They also had to add the subcoolers and everything. They have to add the flame, what's it called, Jack? That burns a flare stack. Sorry.
Nice try.
So no, I genuinely forgot.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get me to say.
No, genuinely, my brain forgot that word. But yes, so all of that had to be done. And keep in mind, the pad also saw modifications to get the crew tower up there for
Right.
Starliner, as well as the escape lines that are on it. All of that also changed in Pad 41 recently.
Pad 41 is a cool pad. It's not every launch site that can handle multiple, completely different rockets. For example,
and that many different propellants.
Yeah, right. For example, on the West Coast at ULA's Slick 3, where they launch launch id, they formally launched Atlases out of Atli. They didn't do a dual use thing there. They just said, okay, this is our last Atlas out of Slick 3, and they have been since modifying the pad for Vulcan. And then they'll just, flip the switch, and then that will be a Vulcan pad. Not like what's happening here with Slick 41. Pretty neat. Oh, this is interesting. Matthew Gorin is saying the space station processing facility squeals as well. We were talking about the VAB squeal earlier. I did not know that the space station processing facility also squeals.
Ooh, interesting. That's a little further down the road from it, too.
You know what would be cool? We had Dr. Kent G and some people from BYU do an acoustic study by placing microphones around Starbase, and they have done various acoustic studies of various different rockets. I would love... weather update?
Weather officer on this mission, my colleague Brian Belson. So what he briefed the launch team is we are watching this line of showers. We're getting new radar scans about every 5 minutes or so, and we're watching to see, are these cloud tops coming down at all? Also, are they remaining connected? Because if they're connected, you kind of have to treat the whole line as one and then just use the closest point to the pad. But if we can find some breaks in that line and the taller cloud tops aren't connected to the ones that are closest to the launch pad right here, then we could potentially get out of that violation as well. So we are still no-go for the cumulus cloud rule, but we're watching these new radar scans coming in to see if we could potentially clear it. So he gave an 80% probability of violation, so that's a 20% chance of go by the end of the window and our last T0. But again, there still is a little bit of hope, and that's what we're watching. We need these cloud tops to come down, or we need to see a little break in the connection here where we could potentially get out of the violation that way. So that's what the launch weather team is tracking. This is a minute-by-minute thing that we're monitoring. We're waiting for the new radar scans to come in, and that's what the team is watching, in addition to the winds as well. Guys, back to you.
Back to us.
All right. Still watching the weather. Hopefully they can find a break in those clouds so they don't have to treat them all as one big unit. And can thread the weather needle. We want to see them thread the needle. Come on. I have faith. I believe. It's the X-Files memes, like I want to believe, but it's just an Atlas V.
It's not the weight that kills you for a launch, it's the hope.
Oh, geez, thanks. Yeah, that was good.
Anonymous with a print saying, is Katy Perry on board? No, it's Kuiper satellites.
That launch is
Katy
coming
Perry
up.
is launching... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that launch is coming up later this month, and Katy Perry will be on New Shepard.
I believe that's 7 days away now.
Yeah.
Or less. Sorry, it's 5 days away.
Nice. I don't care what anyone says. I like New Shepard. I think it's a cool rocket. It's kind of a silly-looking rocket, but it's a cool rocket.
I like it as well.
Hey, it crosses the Kármán line. It's pretty cool.
Right?
I have not been above the Kármán line, so
Yet.
I can't. Yet.
Yet. And I know
yet.
you've said on stream that you don't really want to go to space, but I want to force you to go to space just for my enjoyment.
I would go on New Shepard.
Really?
It's a 6-minute one and done. Like, that's fine for me.
Huh. New life goal: fly on New Shepard with Adrian.
I
And like the
think we would
two
have fun.
astronauts who said they would absolutely fly again in the interview that if you haven't watched, you totally should hear on NSF.
Nice. Yeah, the Fremonauts interview that Ryan did that we released yesterday, Sawyer.
I'm sorry I keep plugging it, but as someone who loves astronaut interviews, this is one of my favorites. There's such a cool crew all chilling together, and Ryan asked some fantastic questions. So
And such a cool
I'm sorry I
mission,
keep
too.
pushing it, but I genuinely loved that interview.
It's cool because it flew over the poles.
And they actually talked about that. It was interesting. Their comparison of like, everyone sees all the lights and the planets and things like that, or the lights and the people down on the planet.
Right.
It's very different going over the poles, and you'll have to hear their reaction.
Yeah, it's been in my watch later list because I've been busy the last 24 hours or so, but I'm excited to check it out, and so should you.
So that's an interview that you can watch on the NSF channel right now? That's crazy.
Right now, 9 times.
Oh, come on. That's a stretch. 18 minutes to the end of the window or so, because it's a minute away from the end of the window. What, Adrian? Go ahead.
We want to see some action of these beautiful engines.
Just keep an eye on the like the little typing thing. Like, let us know if they start typing.
There's no typing going on.
There's no typing.
The last
going on.
update there's 20 minutes ago. Oh.
Geez. I think we are getting an update though. Typing or no typing. Stand by for it's not great. Do we say it yet?
I think we should.
Go.
I'm hearing it here as well.
The United Launch Alliance has announced that for this day they will stand down from a launch attempt of Kuiper, and the next launch attempt is to be decided.
There you have it. The weather did not cooperate. It has scrubbed. But you know what? We do have merch for this. You may have noticed there was a period of time where I was talking to Sawyer and not Adrian, because Adrian was busy with something. Were you not, Adrian?
Yeah, we have a special thing that we have started to do. We have our special NSF scrub shirt, and you can now see this wonderful secret shop up there that has
secret
popped up
shop
with a countdown that I totally prepared because I thought it would not. And there it is. You can get it.
So you're to blame too.
And
eat, sleep, scrub, repeat.
There it is.
Well, there is scrub merch. If you hung out with us for this entire stream and you want something to show for it other than nothing, you can get a scrub shirt. Also, it comes in orange. It's orange. So yeah, check it out. Secret shop. So wait, Adrian, this shop is only active as long as that counter goes?
Yes, the content is a bit long right now. Let me shorten that.
Oh, you can shorten it?
Y'all
better hurry.
it.
You can only get the scrub merch if you were here for the scrub.
I'm drunk with power here.
Rare, by the way, that this actually pops up on a stream that we get to show it. This is a very rare opportunity to get it. It pops up maybe once or twice a month that we actually get to show these. So if you don't get it within the next time period, it is gone for quite a while, and you may not be here for the next stream for it. So I highly recommend, if you want to grab it, now is the time to grab it.
Yeah, you have 24 hours and change, unless Adrian changes it.
I just shortened it to 4 hours and change. There you go.
Oh, 4 hours. So you have 4 hours. It's a cool way to support us, and it's a fun little thing. It's one of those friend filters, where if someone sees you wearing the shirt and they understand what it is, you can bet there's a pretty good chance you're going to be friends. Also, you're supporting us, which we definitely super appreciate, because running all of the things that we run and doing everything we do ain't cheap. So if you want scrub merch, there's scrub merch. You can only get it if you're here. We're not gonna, keep this up. It's got what, 4 hours, 15 minutes to go. So yeah, grab a scrub shirt. Eat, sleep, scrub, repeat. Ideally, launch, repeat. But you know how rockets are. It's orange.
Yeah, also, it's orange.
I can't not. I just can't not.
So hey, I'm glad we got to witness this wonderful wet dress rehearsal of the United Launch Alliance Kuiper-1 launch. Yay!
Some people might be grumbling and unhappy. I'm happy. Oh, somebody got the shirt.
Nice, in orange.
They got the orange shirt. Good job. I'm not mad because it means we get to hang out and watch rockets some more. Hooray!
Yeah,
I am.
I mean, honestly, this was
You're
fun.
you're mad, Sawyer. Are you? You have the right to be mad. You're there.
No, I'm not mad. Again,
Oh, you're dropping out a little bit, buddy.
on the ground, wishing you were in the air than in the air. Yeah, hang on. It's better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than in the air wishing you were on the ground. And I won't even say what I'm.
Nope.
And we won't hear it.
To connect to the internet for this broadcast for this Kuiper launch. Jeez. There we go.
We heard most of that, but your implication that you were using a certain other internet constellation for connectivity was it came through.
Oh, yeah. And again, better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than in the air wishing you were on the ground. Hopefully.
I love that we could hear the idiom
fast enough to make it while my internet's good.
We could hear the idiom 3 times, but everything else that you said, not there at all. So we heard it 3 times. We're good, Sawyer. Thank you. And I agree. It is better to be.
Did you know it's better to be on the ground?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Long March 5. Autumn DeFlora, thank you for becoming a Padrat member. Ethereal Swordsman, thank you for the support. They say, what rocket that got into the hardware phase but never flew to orbit do you wish had flown the most? Probably Roton for me, but Omega is up there too. Roton? Ew. Really?
Wow. That's a lot of hate for Roton. I will report that to the Roton fan club.
Gross.
You will be contacted, Jack.
Adrian, every time I go to Mojave, I have a personal thing where Roton and me go way back, like 13 years. We're bros, okay? All right? We're bros. But ew, helicopter rocket? No.
How does Joe Bernard feel about your hate for Roton?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him next time we have him on.
Yeah. Like I feel like that's gonna be harsh.
People out there that don't know what Roton is, just Wikipedia Roton. It's the worst rocket ever. Way, way worse than Ares 1.
No,
way worse. Yes, are you? Oh, come on. Ares 1 actually could have launched things into space in theory. Roton, no way, dude.
Should we discuss spin launch?
Let's not and say we did. Does anyone have an answer to this? I think for me, I'm gonna go with Ares 5 or Shuttle C.
Carbon fiber BFR.
The carbon fiber BFR would have slapped for sure. Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people are getting the shirt. Holy cow! Yeah. A lot of people are getting the shirt. Pete, thanks for becoming a Padrat member. Wesley, subscribe to L2. They say, "Hey, Screw, what a deal!" Sir, Scrub, what a deal! And it's orange. Scott got the. Oh, I think the shirts are showing up as L2 subscriptions. Okay, Scott got the shirt. They say thanks for all the metal prints. Mary says you all rock. Thank you. Mark says, can we get this in a polo for Scrubtober? Adrian?
I will see what I can make happen.
Anonymous, thank you for the support. They say, what color is the flame stack? The flame is orange. Jacqueline, thank you. They say, what a deal. I would scrub with everyone. Great stream. Anonymous, thank you. They say, keep up the good work. Love the channel. Brittany says, scrub.
Are we now conditioning our audience to be happy about scrubs?
No.
Oh no.
To listen to while drawing. Ooh, what'd you draw? Sharon says it's orange. Anonymous, it's orange. York says good scrub. James says thank you guys for the great coverage. Darlene says awesome coverage. The shirt is perfect. And Anonymous says eat, sleep, scrub, repeat. Thank you all so much. The support really means the world to us, and it means we can keep doing what we do, which we really enjoy, and hopefully you do too.
We can have insightful commentary like the last 3 hours.
So insightful, like what constitutes a good bagel, why the European Space Agency's name should be pronounced ESA.
No.
What
Jack,
movies?
both bad takes.
What
there.
movies you haven't seen? What nozzles are good? We didn't talk about what coast was best, but honestly, I'm kind of over it. Everyone already knows.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
not
The East Coast.
All right. Well, we have a couple more. Anonymous again says eat, sleep, squawk, scrub, repeat. Is Anonymous a bird?
H?
It might be Gage. And Leash, thank you for the support. They say, I really wanted this in orange, but have to share with my husband. Hi, Jason. You guys rock. No, you rock. You and your husband rock.
Yeah, the fact that both spouses are very supportive of it is always a good thing.
Indeed. All right, well, that was a treat, even though it did not launch. Thanks, as always, to everybody for watching. Thank you to all of our viewers over on PopSci. Adrian, thank you for being on.
I mean, that was fun. I enjoyed this so much, and let's do it again potentially tomorrow.
Let's do it again. Sawyer, thank you for being on, man, and thank you for doing what you had to do to get good comms.
Oh yeah, no problem. Maybe I'm glad we made it work even with the winds. You know what? How about next time we do it without the crazy wind and we launch this thing?
That sounds delightful to me. Ooh, Anonymous. Thank you for getting the scrub shirt. They say, I'm here on Kennedy Center at the brand new Amazon payload processing facility. You guys put on a great stream tonight for this ULA Amazon Kuiper launch, and I look forward to it again. This shirt is my way of offering support for your efforts. Dude, thank you. That seriously means so much.
It really does. And maybe we'll get a new view of your building coming up very, very soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, cough, cough.
Yeah, maybe if we do some sort of Cape flyover sort of thing.
Are you spoiling it?
Only. I didn't say when.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, if. Sorry, oops.
And Daniel, thank you. They say JR just got this for a scrub-a-dub-dub. Awesome. Thanks to Jay and Kevin Michael Reed for operating the stream. Thank you to Julia and Max and Dee for being out in the field. And, of course, thank you, Sawyer, to you as well for that. I am Rack Dryer. Thank you so much for... Oh, no! What? Oh, no! All right, seriously, thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support, and we'll see you on the next one. Follow us on socials.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, Atlantis.
Bottom towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange!
145!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Décollage!
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?